Hi guys, hello. Welcome to the last class of biology in your life. Okay, maybe last SPM biology in your life. Maybe not last biology class, definitely last SPM biology class. So, how are you guys feeling today? Are you guys excited for tomorrow to be over? Hopefully that I think you guys are lah, okay? Since today is Chinese paper, and for those who don't take Chinese, you had like 6 days to study biology. So hopefully that you guys fully utilize the 6 days that you had because it's only last day today. So hopefully that you guys have really studied well. Okay, hi. For those who I didn't say hi just now, hi guys, hi. Who is Potato Toto? So cute the name, Potato Toto. Potato Toto. Oh my god, so cute. Hao Yang Sni Carson. Kent. Xing Yu. Vivian. Okay, hi guys, hi. Hi guys, hello. We will start in like maybe 3 or 4 minutes time. We will let people to come in first, Malaysian timing. They don't come in early, they always come in late. And hopefully that it will not be a heavy rain later on because it will be like a very heavy thunderstorm later. Hi guys, hello. Okay, so actually for today class, right, I really hope that you guys had really studied everything already. So because this is just like a quick revision, I'll be doing Melaka paper too because initially I was planning to do pinning paper, but I think the pinning paper is a bit similar to MRSM and SPP, so I didn't like choose pinning paper. I chose like Melaka paper to do it. Okay, so Melaka paper has a lot of variety different kind of question actually, like different kind of questions. Teacher, can you speak a little bit of Chinese? Like, 你是说我解释的时候用华语吗？还是什么呢？ Okay, hey guys, very tired, want to sleep. Plus, raining also. Guys, don't sleep. One last paper. I mean, unless you are taking econs next week, then it's different. Oh my god, it's Ryan biology. Oh my god, it's Ryan Fu. So excited. Sure, my area raining heavy. Oh my god, please don't rain so soon. Teacher can rap today. I really want to rap today. Mean I want to go in a faster speed because if I still go in a very slow speed, I think the class will end like 10 o'clock. Hope that the class will end before 9 because to finish the entire paper, we need about 2.5 hours. So hopefully that we can end before 9 so you can study the rest of it. So for those who haven't watched how to answer paper 3, you can go watch at my YouTube channel because I actually teach the answering technique to answer paper 3, which is section A and section B. So for those who haven't watched, go and watch here, okay? Here also raining heavily. Oh no, hopefully that PJ don't rain yet, okay? I already heard the thunderstorm because when it rains, right, then you guys will hear the raindrops. I don't know, maybe hopefully that the mic is not that good. I don't know whether now I have to like want the mic to work better or don't work better. Explain it using some Chinese. Guys, don't worry, my English not very good also lah. I use the very basic English to explain lah, okay? 我的英文我用英文解释没有那种很厉害的英文的，我的英文解释是那种很肤浅的很肤浅的英文，所以我觉得大家应该都可以明白我用的英文啦。我又不是讲英文的，我是教 bio 的嘛，所以我觉得我的英文可以是大家都可以明白的啦。Okay, so 没有那么复杂的大家。I mean, if you really don't understand my English or the part itself, I will try to use some Chinese to explain because I have a lot of students who don't understand Mandarin actually, my own student lah. So I have to find a middle point. I will use a very basic, very, very basic English to explain everything. Okay, so in 2 more minutes, we're gonna start. We're gonna start at 6:05. So for those who haven't print the paper yet, please go and print it out. Okay, go and print the paper. Same thing. I uploaded the paper with one of my own version because I don't like the messy kind of Chinese paper. So I typed the entire paper out already. So if you prefer the one that I typed, you can print the one that I typed. So if you don't have any printer at home, you can use your own paper. Please, guys, write it down today. Okay, for the one last time, last time, please write the things down because if you don't write and you only just listen, right, I don't think that you will be able to remember what you have learned today. Please write everything down. Whatever I write, please write. Okay, whatever I don't write, you can also write. Okay, please write. If you don't train your brain, at least train your hand a bit lah. So today is the last time that your hand will feel like breaking because my student always say that attending my class, it feel like the hand will break into half. So yeah, hopefully that you guys will feel the same today. You'll feel like you write a lot of words today, and hopefully that the one that you learn today will come out tomorrow lah. I wouldn't say it's the same thing, but hopefully it's similar thing that it will come out. Okay. Okay, so you can also share with your friends that who take bio paper, because it's really the last time already, like the last time of biology in their life. If they really need help, you know, some of the students are very pro, they don't need help, then it's okay. Okay, so if you really need help, then you can share with your friends, and the video can be replayed anyway, but I don't think that you have any time to replay the video. I don't think that you have time to replay the video, so you ask your friend to come in lah. Okay, just ask your friend to join the live class. Everyone can learn together at the same time. Your first time watching live. Okay, welcome guys. Okay, we're gonna start right now. Oh no, I heard the thunderstorm. Oh no. Okay, it's okay. I think that you guys hear my voice very well, right? I mean, besides the thunderstorm, the voice okay, right? I mean, like that is the background, but my voice is the main one. Is my voice okay, right? Right. Okay. Do you recommend going through question and schema quickly now? You mean what? Do you mean like now for Melaka paper? Melaka paper we'll be doing together, so it's okay. Okay, so okay, good. So let's start the class now, okay? Because the reply time is a bit slow, so I don't think that I can wait for a reply anyway. Okay, so this is Melaka 2020 paper 2. Okay, diagram 1.1 shows the cross section of a leaf on a green plant. So let's look at this one. This is actually Form 4 Chapter 2, but at this part, right, it has Form 4 Chapter 2 and also Form 4 Chapter 6. So I will also be teaching Form 4 Chapter 6 in question 1 as well. It says name structure P and structure Q at the same time. P is the upper part of the leaf. So obviously that P will be the epidermis, okay? P will be epidermis, and then we have Q, right? Q is the one that arranged closely, so obviously that Q is a palisade mesophyll cell, okay? Palisade mesophyll cell. So basically we already have the labeling for P and Q. Next one, it says green plants produce food through the process of photosynthesis. Explain the adaptation of structure Q to increase the rate of photosynthesis. In this question, what they ask about what? Photosynthesis. So obviously that what do you think gas M is? Gas M is the one that goes into the plant, right? So in order to carry out photosynthesis, what do you need? Obviously you need carbon dioxide. Right? So they ask you to explain adaptation of structure Q, okay? Now when it comes to structure Q, palisade mesophyll cell carry out photosynthesis besides using carbon dioxide and water. What do they need? They also require chloroplast. So palisade mesophyll cell characteristic is what? They arrange closely and it contains high density of chloroplast. So when you have high density of chloroplast, it means that you can absorb more sunlight to increase more photosynthesis. So your answer is it has large amount of chloroplast. Okay, so you can say it absorbs more sunlight that increases rate of photosynthesis. Exam tomorrow, please don't write ROP, because I just want to be faster lah. So rate of photosynthesis that produces more glucose and oxygen. Okay, more glucose and oxygen. So this is the answer for Q. So just now we already know what is gas M, right? Because as I mentioned, in order to carry out photosynthesis, you need carbon dioxide, water, and chloroplast. So it says gas M is needed for green plants to undergo process of photosynthesis. Explain the effect of increasing concentration of gas M in rate of photosynthesis. Okay, when you have more carbon dioxide, okay, obviously that rate of photosynthesis will also increase. Why? Okay, for those who don't know well about photosynthesis and you haven't watched the video yet, it's okay. We're going to go it through again for photosynthesis. So for photosynthesis, we have two parts. Okay, let me erase this part because I want to write here. So we have two parts. We have light reaction and we have dark reaction. Light reaction and dark reaction. So two different process, we have two different name, right? Light reaction, it is known as photolysis of water. Dark reaction we call it as reduction of carbon dioxide, reduction of carbon dioxide. So we have two. In order for you to know how to explain, you must be able to understand what does photolysis of water means. Photo means light, lysis means breakdown. So that's why they break down water molecule with the presence of light. So water, it will be broken down into two ions, which is H plus and OH minus. So actually, before they carry out this light reaction, right, they will carry out a thing where the light is absorbed by who? It is absorbed by the chlorophyll. So over here, you can write it down because I think that photosynthesis has a very high chances of coming out. So please write it down. At least you can increase your muscle memory or whatever. So absorbed by chlorophyll. Light is absorbed by chlorophyll. So it excites molecule of chlorophyll to higher energy until it release energy to form ATP. Okay, now what is the importance of ATP? As a photosynthesis, if the plant, if the chlorophyll cannot release any ATP, right, they will not have a complete photosynthesis. ATP is then used in that reaction later on. So they must release ATP in order to have a overall process of photosynthesis. So again, as I mentioned, photolysis of water means what? You break down water with the presence of sunlight, right? They will break down into two ions. So first, we have water break down into OH minus and H plus. Remember, OH minus is not known as a hydroxide ion. It is known as a hydroxyl ion because this is biology, not chemistry. Hydroxyl ion. And H plus, obviously, we call it as hydrogen ion. So OH minus and H plus, they have a charge. I don't want them to have a charge. What can I do? I can release, which is loses electron, or I can also receive electron. So if it's a minus, obviously it means they will lose because minus, I don't want, right? Lose electron. So when they lose electron, where does the electron goes to? The electrons, it will goes to the chlorophyll. Loses electron to chlorophyll. Okay? So when it loses electron, there's no more charge. If there is no more charge, what do they actually become? They will become into a thing called OH group, hydroxyl group. Hydroxyl group, it will combine together to form into two products. The first product will be oxygen. The next product will be water. But obviously, oxygen is the main product. Why? Because oxygen needs to be released to the atmosphere to carry out cellular respiration by organisms. So if you want to explain the O2, you can actually say that a release to atmosphere for cellular respiration. Hopefully that you guys already know what is the cellular respiration because this one is like Form 4 Chapter 4 kind of, Form 4 Chapter 2 kind of thing. And also in Form 3, you'll learn the same. So since we have done with light reaction, we must go to dark reaction. How do you start dark reaction? Because it's what? Reduction of carbon dioxide. CO2, it means in this sequence here, it requires carbon dioxide. So from H plus, because plus, it has charge, right? I don't want them to have charge. I want them to be stable. So over here, I will receive electron. So as I receive electron, the H plus, it will form into hydrogen atom. So this hydrogen atom, they will combine with carbon dioxide to form into glucose and water. But obviously that glucose is the main product, water is the side product. So glucose is then condensed. Use the wrong color, but never mind lah, okay? So glucose, they will condense into starch and store in chloroplast. Okay, and store in chloroplast. So this is light and dark reaction. Please remember this one. I don't know whether I should hope this question come out or not because every year there will be a plant question. If it's not this one, then it will be oxine-ethylene lah. Either one lah. We'll go through oxine-ethylene later as well. So this is light and dark reaction. If you want to write an overall equation for photosynthesis, it will be water plus carbon dioxide with the presence of light energy or sunlight and chlorophyll to form into glucose C6H12O6 plus oxygen. How do I get this equation from? This equation comes from light and dark reaction. Because what? Light reaction, it is known as what? It is known as photolysis of water. So this is from light because water, right? What does light reaction produce? It produces oxygen. Okay, it produces oxygen. Then carbon dioxide, right? For carbon dioxide, where does carbon dioxide come from? Carbon dioxide, yeah, actually come from the dark reaction. This one also dark reaction. So this is the overall photosynthesis. If you want to balance, okay, I know I missed ATP, okay? So if you want to balance the equation, don't have to balance, it's okay because it's not chemistry, right? It's biology. But if you really want to balance, right, shorter chemical formula, you add a 6 in front. 6, 6, 6. Then you have a balanced equation. But if you don't want to balance, it's okay as well. Sometimes the question will ask you to write a chemical equation. Sometimes they ask you to write word equation. If it's word equation, please write water instead of H2O. Just now we missed ATP, right? Where does the ATP? The ATP actually is here. When hydrogen atom combine with carbon dioxide, they will use ATP. Okay, this is the ATP. So this is the light and dark reaction for photosynthesis. This one very important. Please remember, guys. Actually, if you remember the thing that you write it over here, I think you should be able to write it into sentences lah. Of course, you have to pray hard for a diagram because if you have diagram, you just form sentences based on the diagram that you see because there's a lot of question with diagram one. So you can see that. ATP is here, okay? Now, anyway, back to the question over here. Okay, so obviously that when you have more carbon dioxide means what? You have increase of reduction of carbon dioxide means dark reaction increases. In order for you to have dark reaction, please remember you must have light reaction first. If there is no light reaction, means there will be no dark reaction. So light reaction must take place first before you have dark reaction. Okay, light must come first before dark. Okay, now we're going to form sentence for this so you can see that rate of carbon dioxide reduction, or you can see fixation if you want to, increases more dark reaction take place, more carbon dioxide combined with hydrogen atom to produce glucose. More carbon dioxide combined with hydrogen atom, or you can say more carbon dioxide combined with hydrogen atom with hydrogen atom by using ATP to produce more glucose also can, if you want to write like a very complete sentence. This is the answer. Okay, now done with this one, we're going to move towards the next question. Next question requires you to draw the diagram up. If your drawing is not very nice, it's okay because my drawing is very bad as well. But as long as the teacher understands what you draw, is fine. Okay, for example, this one, it says, draw and label the organelle that controls transpiration process in plants. Okay, if you want to control transpiration, okay, and organelle, right, okay, draw the label the organelle. So if it's transpiration, it will be the stomata. So you're gonna draw a stomata out, okay? It's okay that you draw very ugly as long as you draw. It's either opening also can, closing of stomata also can. Doesn't matter. Opening and closing also can. So let's say I just draw opening lah, okay? It doesn't really matter which one that you prefer lah, okay? Opening. it looks very ugly, okay? So it draws something like a bean shape. Something like that lah, okay? And then you draw a vacuole inside. Vacuole. And you dot a little bit lah, okay? You dot to represent the cytoplasm lah. And then you can draw some organelle if you want to, like whatever organelle is it. Don't have to label one, this one don't have, because this one, need to label, sorry. What do you need to label? But you don't need to label the organelle, you only need to label the stomata and the gut cell. So just label this one as a gut cell, this one as a stomata. So this is the diagram that you have to draw lah. So you're gonna draw a stomata, whether they are opening or closing also can, the gut cell. Doesn't matter. If you want to draw a closing one also can, but my diagram is a bit not very nice. I'm not very good at drawing lah, but it's okay. This one is okay already. Explain how the condition of the organelle in C1 during afternoon. So during afternoon time, okay, you have to know one fact, okay. Afternoon, got sun or not? Obviously, afternoon got sun, right? We cannot expect that afternoon raining. No, we have to assume that afternoon confirm means what? Got sun. Okay, got sun means what? Means there will be photosynthesis. Because in order to carry out photosynthesis, you need sunlight, right? So since they carry out photosynthesis, the stomata, it will open. Why they will open is because that the gut cell itself, it contains of chloroplast. It contains of chloroplast. What does the chloroplast do? We know that in order, chloroplast is actually to carry out photosynthesis, okay, to carry out photosynthesis. So since right now I have a lot of glucose, okay, I have a lot of glucose, okay, I have a lot of glucose. It causes the gut cell to be hypertonic. So since gut cell right now is hypertonic, water from the surrounding cell, it will diffuse into the gut cell. As they diffuses into the gut cell will open. That's why during afternoon time, the gut cell will open. So that's why during afternoon, you also increase the rate of transpiration as well. It means more water loss is called transpiration. Okay, Ken? So we're going to explain on this part. So you're going to say that the stomata open because gut cell contains of chloroplast that undergo photosynthesis. Okay, they undergo photosynthesis. So a lot of glucose is produced that causes gut cell to be hypertonic to surrounding cell. If you do want to write surrounding cell, you can write adjacent cell. It means surrounding cell, neighboring cell also can, like 隔壁的 cell, okay, neighboring cell. Okay, to surrounding cell. And then got one more sentence. I write it over here, okay, the one more sentence. You can say that water diffuses into a gut cell by osmosis, causes gut cell to become turgid and bend outward or curve outward also can. Bend outwards or curve outward. Okay, so this is how it works. Whenever they ask about photosynthesis, you must know this one and also know about the greenhouse as well. Greenhouse, you can control all limiting factors, right? So you can know about that. Okay, next question. Second 1.2 shows the transfer of glucose from proximal convoluted tubule into blood capillary in kidney. Actually, the reason why I choose Melaka paper is because Melaka paper is very messy. Okay, in a way of saying that, because there's a lot of question in one question one. So for this one question, I can explain a lot of subtopic lah. So that's why I choose Melaka paper lah. I mean, like it's too messy that I can explain a lot of things. Okay, 1.2 shows the transport of proximal convoluted tubule. This is under kidney actually. It says you have to label what is structure X first. So for structure X, okay, structure X, this is obviously a mitochondria. With a teacher, I need to write hypertonic towards or two is the same. Okay, hypertonic two or towards is the same. Okay, so this is mitochondria. And what the question asks you, explain why a large number of structure X are found in epithelial cell of proximal convoluted tubule. This one goes back to kidney question. We have to understand what happens at PCT. Of course, but if you don't know, never mind lah, because the question already say what? Transport of what? Glucose. And they give you mitochondria, right? So it means that in order to absorb glucose, you need mitochondria. So obviously, it is the active transport. I mean, if you don't know anything about kidney, you can find the keywords in the question itself. Glucose, mitochondria means what? Active transport. It happens at the PCT. But I will go through an overall idea of the kidney for those who don't remember as well. I have a diagram over here. I know that it's not with you, but you can just Google or whatever lah, okay? This is the diagram that you should understand the diagram. So this is the nephrons, we call it as nephrons. So these nephrons, right, what do we have to know? Number one, you have to know the labeling. In order for you to answer all of the questions, you must know the labeling first. The sequence also very important. So number one, you have to know where is the glomerulus. Glomerulus is a blood capillary within the Bowman's capsule. So this is the Bowman's capsule, the C shape, and you have the glomerulus inside. It's a bunch of the blood capillary, okay? So this blood capillary, it has two endings. One is afferent arteriole, the other one is efferent arteriole. So afferent and efferent is because they have different lumen in size. One is bigger, one is smaller. Afferent is bigger, efferent is smaller in size. So it's within the glomerulus, the blood capillary. So blood capillary, you have the starting point, which is afferent arteriole. The ending point is efferent arteriole. Afferent is larger in size. This one is bigger in size or larger in size. And efferent is smaller in size, okay? So this is the number one part lah. Everything happens here first, okay? The number one part. Okay, so this number one part, right? What's so important about the number one part? This number one part, it has a process. The first process that we have to learn about kidney is ultrafiltration. Let me write in red color, okay? Ultra. Why so thick? And be smaller? Okay, let me write in. Ultrafiltration. So what does ultrafiltration mean? Ultrafiltration, it means that it will allow certain substances from the blood capillary to diffuse into a space called glomerular space. Why do they have this thing? Because the pressure is different. Because afferent arteriole, they have a larger lumen, bigger lumen, and it will go to smaller lumen, right? It will cause difference in the pressure. The pressure required as hydrostatic pressure. To remind you all out, okay, we're gonna write the sentence out just in case tomorrow y'all don't remember again. So they have high hydrostatic pressure. Okay, this high hydrostatic pressure is because of different size of lumen between afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. Okay, afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. You can just write number one since you have no diagram, right? It's okay, just write number one there, okay? Ultrafiltration. It happens at the glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule, okay? So since they have a high hydrostatic pressure, they will force most of the fluid out. From here, it will go into the space, which is the capsular space. So the second point, if they ask you to explain, you must be able to write this causes fluid to force out into capsular space. Okay, but there are two things cannot diffuse into it. The first one is there is no red blood cell, no plasma protein. No red blood cell, no plasma protein, because they are too large. But the thicker one is better. I mean, the pen thicker is better. The thicker is better, is it? Okay, because if it's thicker one, I don't know whether I can write like so small or not. Okay, let me try the thicker one later. So this is the ultrafiltration. So it will diffuse into it, right? So when it diffuse into it, they are known as a glomerular filtrate. Okay, it is known as a glomerular filtrate. Yeah, it's I write this one. Known as glomerular filtrate. Is it better? The thicker one, is it better? Okay, so this is glomerular filtrate. Now, the end with ultrafiltration, because ultrafiltration can only happen at the glomerulus. Okay, from the glomerulus, the Bowman's capsule, the capsular space. Okay, so when you reach the capsular space, the next part is what? The next part is the proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, I highlight now, okay? Proximal convoluted tubule. In short, we call it as PCT. In exam, can you write PCT? You can only write PCT when you write one time of proximal convoluted tubule, okay? After you write the proximal convoluted tubule. This is ultrafiltration. Yes, this is ultrafiltration. Everything I write here in red color is ultrafiltration because every different part I will change color lah. What is blood osmotic pressure? Okay, later I explain this and then we go back to the blood osmotic pressure, okay? Now, second point. we're going to go to proximal convoluted tubule. So for proximal convoluted tubule, what happens here is they have a process called reabsorption. Okay, we have reabsorption. I thought I write number 1, 2, 3. No, okay. Reabsorption. Okay. Reabsorption means what? What do they reabsorb? They reabsorb 5 main things. What are the 5 main things? Glucose, amino acid, NaCl, water. NaCl, water. Glucose, amino acid, NaCl, water. This is the important one. But the thing is, you have to know what process that takes place. For example, if it's glucose and amino acid, whether it is a simple diffusion or passive transport, whether it is an active transport or whether it is osmosis, this is the part that you have to know. So for reabsorption at PCT, just like I mentioned, got 5 things, right? All glucose and amino acid is fully reabsorbed. So reabsorption is the one that goes into the blood capillary. Okay, next one. If you want to reabsorb glucose and amino acid, it will be active transport, because just now we mentioned, right, glucose mitochondria, it will be active transport, right? So this is by active transport. Is the thicker pen better or just now the thinner one better? You all let me know lah, okay? Okay, besides glucose and amino acid, what else? We have NaCl, right? So, NaCl is by passive transport. Passive transport. And then next one, we have water. Water obviously is by osmosis. Teacher, you haven't answered my question. What's your question, teacher? Wait. Is human or plant physiology easier to score? I think it depends on what you are good at it lah. Human has more things. Plant quite fixed though. So I cannot say which one is easier, which one is harder. It depends on which one you know better. Okay, right. Some people think that humans is easier. Some people that plants is easier. So I think it's your choice. Okay. Reabsorption. Now, down with this one at PCT. So remember, they must be fully reabsorbed of glucose and amino acid. Because if it's not fully reabsorbed, when it goes to as a urine, right? When the person urine contains of glucose, the person will have diabetes mellitus. When the person urine contains of amino acid, the person will have kidney failure. So they must be fully reabsorbed. Okay, fully reabsorbed. Next one. What do we have? We will go to the loop of Henle. I don't know whether you can see here or not. Loop of Henle is over here. This is number 3. Loop of Henle. Okay, loop of Henle. So loop of Henle, they have 2 limbs. One is descending limb, one is ascending limb. So ascending limb and descending limb, or cupping is here, okay? So ascending limb and descending limb, right? You have to know they reabsorb what things at these 2 parts. Okay, we're gonna start with the descending limb first lah, okay? Let me write over here. Descending limb, they will reabsorb water. So if it's water, remember it will be osmosis. Always water is osmosis. Okay. Next one, ascending limb. Ascending limb, they will reabsorb. What do you left? Just now we have NaCl, water, glucose, amino acid, right? Since glucose and amino acid is fully reabsorbed, osmosis already absorbed at descending limb. What do we have? We have NaCl, right? So we left NaCl. Why did I erase off? Reabsorb NaCl. Okay, you cannot write salt. You have to write Na or Cl. Sodium ion and the chloride ion. So you cannot write chemical formula. Okay? So NaCl is by this one, it's active transport. Just now I write wrongly already, guys. Active transport. Sorry. This one here is not passive, it's active. This is active. The cancel of active, active transport. NaCl is active transport. Okay, next one, we have the DCT. So for DCT is number 4 part. This number 4 part also reabsorption. So let me use other color. Let me use blue color lah, okay? Reabsorption and also secretion. So for reabsorption at DCT, what do they reabsorb? Same thing, what do you left? NaCl, water, but of course you reabsorb NaCl, water. But when it comes to reabsorption at this part, right, they will involve of hormone. there are two hormones being involved. The first one is ADH. Number 2 is aldosterone. Okay, ADH and aldosterone. If I mix up reabsorb and reabsorb, it's okay. It's a singular, plural, and whatever grammar error or whatever past tense is okay, guys. It's not important because it's biology. Teacher, can you teach how to sketch diagram for contraction and relaxation of muscle in Form 5 Chapter 2? If you have a question for that, we're going to sketch. They don't ask you to sketch. They ask you to finish the diagram only. What? If it's contract or relax. Contract means they're thicker. Lor. If it's relaxing, means they become smaller. Lor. Okay, anyway. This ADH, okay, what I say, ADH, right, is to reabsorb water, okay? Is to reabsorb water. And then aldosterone is to reabsorb NaCl. So water is by osmosis and ACl is by passive transport over here. It's by passive transport because the confusing part about kidney is the NaCl at the front part is active and the back part is passive. So you have to know where it's active and it's passive. That is the tricky part about the kidney. Okay, now besides reabsorption, what do they have? They have another process we call it as secretion. What is secretion? Since reabsorptions are the things that we want, reabsorption are the things that we don't want, okay? Since if we don't want, what do we don't want? We don't want urea, we don't want ammonia, we don't want the whatever things that is harmful to the body, right? We call it as secretion, okay? Secretion. Okay, now, drugs and alcohol, we don't want, right? Okay, so drugs and alcohol is by simple diffusion. Simple diffusion. And then urea, ammonia, the rest of it, or even uric acid, it will be active. Active transport. Okay, so this is the distal convoluted tubule. And then collecting duct is the part that they will form urine, the last part. So it's like formation of urine. There is the end of the kidney. Okay, so this is the entire thing of kidney. So we have go through with Form 5 Chapter 3 kidney also, just in case you all don't know. Okay, let's go back to the question. Where's my question again? I have to flip back. Okay, let's go back to the question over here. So this question is actually quite simple. It's because they give you hint already. Glucose, mitochondria, PCT. You just need to form into sentence over here. So you can just write that. More energy in the form of ATP is produced by structure X. Glucose reabsorption in blood capillaries occurs faster by active transport. Okay, so this is the sentence that you can form because this question is a bit simple because they give you hint already. Okay, now. Okay, next question. Next one is Form 5, Chapter 5, Mitosis and Meiosis. This one, you also have to know how to do this question because I think it has quite high chances of coming out. It haven't been coming out for many years. If they don't come out in paper 2, they will also see in paper 1. Anyhow, you still have to know this chapter. Okay, if it's not paper 2, then paper 1 confirm you will see this kind of question 1. Diagram 2 shows the process of ovum formation. So since it's ovum formation, we know that this is obviously is meiosis, right? Because ovum is a gamete. Gamete, it will be meiosis, right? If it's obviously it's meiosis, right? So in order to form ovum, like in order to form ovum, it must start from diploid number and then it will end with haploid number, right? So over here, they ask you to label phase M and phase Q. So from this diagram, this is phase M and this is phase Q, right? The M is a bit lower, but it's supposed to be higher. So when they are at the middle, what is at the middle? So if it's middle, right, obviously it's the metaphase. Just now you mentioned this is meiosis, right? Meiosis is 2 by 2. Metaphase 1 is 2 by 2. So you can see it is 2 by 2 by 2. 2 by 2 by 2. So this is metaphase 1. Okay, this is metaphase 1. Next, Q is 1 by 1 by 1, right? After metaphase 1, you finish all of the process already, right? Obviously, they will follow by meiosis 2. So this is metaphase 2. Metaphase 2. So we have the answer. Metaphase 1 and metaphase 2 because they are at the equator, at the middle, which is the equator. Next one, they ask, explain the chromosomal behavior during phase M. Remember, chromosomal behavior, they must be something related to chromosome. We call it as chromosomal behavior. If it's prophase 1, sometimes they ask you to explain prophase 1, you cannot write spindle fiber starts to form. Because spindle fiber starts to form is not something to do with the chromosome. It's only just the structure itself. It's not a chromosomal behavior. You must explain something to do with the chromosome, we call it as chromosomal behavior. So obviously this one, they arrange at the metaphase, right? They arrange align at the metaphase. Because this is meiosis, the term that we use is not chromosome. The term that we use is homologous chromosome. Homologous chromosome. So for those who can't differentiate mitosis, meiosis 1, meiosis 2, I also had a video to teach you how to differentiate these three processes. Please go and watch before your exam. Okay. Teacher, is it possible for a question to come out in both paper 1 and paper 2? Paper 1 question is all chapter. Obviously, it's possible. Basically, it's all chapter. All chapter means Form 4 chapter 2 until Form 5 chapter 6. They will never miss a chapter for paper 1. Never miss a chapter. So you have to know every chapter for paper 1. Okay? Cannot use equator because she said it's a cell, not earth. In SPM, you can use equator, equatorial plane, metaphase plate. So you have 3 labeling for that. Equator, metaphase plate, equatorial plane. So you have 3 different labeling. So it's your choice to choose. 3 answer also acceptable one if you look at the marking scheme. Okay, so this answer, remember, homologous chromosome. So you can see homologous chromosome aligned randomly. Okay, since it's metaphase, okay, since it's metaphase 1, right? You can see align randomly as a tetrad. What is a tetrad? Tetrad, basically, it means 2 by 2, or called bivalent, 2 by 2. As I mentioned this one, 2 by 2 by 2, right? You call it as tetrad. Okay, if you never write as a tetrad, it's also okay. Align randomly as a tetrad at equatorial plane, or you can write metaphase plate, or you can write equator. Okay, 3 also correct lah, actually. Can see your video before SPM. Whatever video in my YouTube channel, you can also watch lah, okay? The video is already at YouTube. The how to differentiate mitosis, meiosis, and meiosis 1, that one is already at YouTube. I don't know when now, but you go and find at KBSM 1, under the KBSM. If I say homologous chromosome for mitosis, consider wrong. Yes, it's wrong because mitosis, we only use chromosome. Okay? Anyway, two marks, right, means 2 points. The first one is this one. Second one, what we're going to write? We're going to write for a centromere of homologous chromosome, which is a spindle fiber. How come in this question here we can write spindle fiber? Because spindle fiber, they attach to the centromere. Okay, as you can see from this diagram, let me zoom in for you to see. This middle part, we call it as a centromere. Okay, this one here. Centromere, centromere. The spindle fiber, they will attach to the centromere of homologous chromosome. Tetrad is same as bivalent, right? Yes, it's same as bivalent. Okay, so this one you can write spindle fiber attached on centromere of homologous chromosome. Homologous chromosome. We use homologous chromosome for meiosis, correct? Mitosis, we use chromosome. Okay, next question is, in the box, draw a label diagram to show the cell after phase M. After phase M is what? After phase M is, after metaphase, right? It will be anaphase 1, okay? Anaphase 1. I think you can check KSM textbook for Form 4, so colorful. That one is new syllabus, okay? That one, you guys don't have the chance to look at or to learn from the textbook itself already. Tomorrow is exam. You don't have to think of textbooks already, guys. Just throw your textbook away. You don't need textbook right now. You need to practice more question only. Anyway, just draw anaphase 1, right? Okay, first of all, this is animal cell because it's ovum, right? So you just draw a round shape. Okay, round shape. And then please remember to refer back to the diagram when you draw. What does it mean? It means that in this diagram, can you see over here, got how many chromosomes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 chromosomes means you're going to draw 6 things, 6 butterfly, because it's being pulled apart. And the size is also different, right? This one and this one is bigger. The middle one is smaller, right? So you have to follow the size. Please remember, follow the size, follow the number, follow the color. Size, number, color is something that you have to take note when you draw the textbook. Okay, so draw. First, centrioles at the side, left and right side, both one. And then because it's anaphase, right? Anaphase should pull apart, means pull apart. So when you draw, you just draw they are being pulled apart. The top and the bottom one should be bigger. The middle one should be smaller. My drawing is very lousy, but as long as you get the idea of how to draw this thing, I can already. This smaller one, this one bigger one. Okay, then you draw the spindle fiber from the centrioles. But anyway, if you want to draw more spindle fiber, right, it's your choice. Like, no, you want to draw like more ching chong ling long spindle fiber is your choice. But usually I don't draw more spindle fiber because I think it's a bit messy. But it's your choice to choose whether you want or not. And it's supposed to be full color shaded, right? Okay, because this one is a bit hard to see. It's supposed to be full color shaded, but it's okay. Just whenever you draw, please refer to the diagram. No matter what question, refer back to the diagram. Next one, explain why the size of cell Y is different from cell X. Okay, cell Y and cell X, as you can see from the diagram, is X is bigger, Y is smaller, right? Why X is bigger, Y is smaller? Because when you form ovum, you can only form one secondary oocyte. The rest of it required as a polar bodies. And polar bodies, it will be degenerated later on. Polar bodies. And this one is the secondary oocyte. So when they fertilize with ovum. Anaphase 2 is only chromatids. Yes, the sister chromatids. Same as mitosis. Same as mitosis. Meiosis 2 and mitosis is similar. Diagram no need to label. Did they ask you to label? Oh, need to label, guys. Sorry, need to label the diagram. So whenever you draw, please read the question now, okay? Please label the diagram. I forgot to read. So you're going to label. So first of all, you're going to label this as a spindle fiber. Spindle fiber. This is a centrioles. And this one, we have the chromosome, or you can label as a homologous chromosome also can. Chromosome also can because they are being separated already, right? So since they are separated, you can just write chromosome. Okay, can? Okay, now back to the question. Why X and Y is different in size is because that they will have uneven cytokinesis. You all know what is cytokinesis, right? It means from one cell into two cells. After prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, right? After telophase, we have a process called cytokinesis. They have uneven cytokinesis over here. Uneven cytokinesis. Only you will have one bigger and three smaller. The polar bodies, it will be degenerated later on. So we have to form sentence from this. We're going to say which one is bigger, which one is smaller, and the reason why they are bigger and smaller. So you can say cell Y is smaller than cell X. Unequal separation of cytoplasm during cytokinesis. So this is the answer for it. Explain the importance of gamete formation in maintaining the number of chromosomes in the human life cycle. Teacher, can I draw like butterfly? Not the one teacher draw. Can, as long as you show them they are being separated, I can already. Okay, so formation of gametes. To maintain number of chromosomes in the human life cycle, gamete is always haploid in number. And right, if you want to form a human, it must be ovum plus sperm. Only you have an ovum. Human, okay? N plus N equals to 2N. So right now, gamete formation must be N. When you form into human, you will have 2N. Okay, they will have 2N. N plus n equals to 2n, right? So they will have 2n. So that's why you have to maintain haploid number in gametes in order for you to form diploid number of chromosome in human cell. If your gamete is 2n, right? 2n plus 2n equals to 4n. 4n is not even a human, guys. 4n, I think it's horse, 92, I think it's horse or whatever. It's not human, so it must be 46 in order to have a normal human. Normal, I'm not saying that what Down syndrome, trisomy X, that is different case. But as a normal human, should be 46 in number. So you can see gamete contains haploid number of chromosome. So this haploid number obviously is 23 chromosome. For those who don't know, this is 23 chromosome. During fertilization, diploid zygote is formed, which has the same number of chromosome as parent. So it was 23, it becomes 46. Okay, 23, it becomes 46. Okay, so this is the answer. 23, 46. Because this is human, they will not ask you anything that is not related to human. If it's animals, okay, if it's animal and they ask you to write the number of chromosome, right, they will always give you the haploid number or the diploid number if it's animal, because you only learn human as 46, right? You never learn any other organism, right? So if it's any other organism besides human, they will always give you the number of chromosome either in haploid number or diploid number. The one in haploid number, it must only be ovum and sperm. The rest of the number, it will be diploid in number. Okay, this is something that you have to remember. Next, question 3. Okay, we spent 1 hour to do 2 questions. Okay, question 3. 3.1 shows a part of woman reproductive system. Name process Y. So as you can see, process Y is releasing of secondary oocytes. Releasing of secondary oocytes required as ovulation, guys. We don't call releasing of ovum required as releasing of secondary oocytes, because only when you fertilize with sperm required fertilize as ovum. Okay, if it's not, then required as secondary oocytes. Name the hormone that stimulate the process in A1. Hi, Liang J. Okay, so you want to name the hormones, right? What is the hormones for ovulation? Obviously, it's luteinizing hormone. So for luteinizing hormone, you cannot write LH. You must spell the word out. Luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone. You can bracket as LH. So as the bottom question, you can write just write LH. But I don't encourage you all to just write short form for hormones. You can write ATP, ADP, DNA, but you cannot write short form for hormones. Name structure X. So structure X is a flower-like structure. This flower-like structure, right, required as corpus luteum. Corpus luteum. So what is the importance of corpus luteum? Corpus luteum, it contains high level of progesterone. So progesterone is to maintain the thickness of endometrium. Usually, this corpus luteum, it will maintain when the person is pregnant. Because corpus luteum, right, during pregnancy time, it will maintain for 3 months, which is the first trimester, the first 3 months. They need corpus luteum to produce enough of progesterone and estrogen. When the progesterone and estrogen is not high enough, they will have miscarriage. So that's why corpus luteum, it is a very important function. So after 3 months, this corpus luteum will start to shrink. But it's okay because after 3 months, the placenta will take place. So the placenta will have the role of corpus luteum where they will secrete progesterone and estrogen to maintain the thickness of endometrium. So you see, structure X degenerates after 8 weeks of pregnancy and the woman experiences a miscarriage. So as I mentioned, right, corpus luteum is the one that produces progesterone and estrogen, right? 8 weeks is only 2 months. It's not even the first trimester. It's only like half of the trimester. So that's why they have miscarriage. Okay? Can? The answer, you're going to see level of progesterone decreases the wall of endometrium breakdown. The wall of endometrium breakdown. Is it okay if I write only LH instead of writing in full form? I don't encourage you to just write LH because in most of the exam, you have to write luteinizing hormone actually. Endometrium wall breakdown, no progesterone to maintain the thickness of endometrium, correct? That's why you have miscarriage. Don't have to write the woman experience miscarriage because it's in the question already. The woman decided to undergo IVF in vitro fertilization required as test tube baby. After she failed to conceive, she is given follicle stimulating hormone in her early treatment. Explain why. Because FSH is the first hormone that, in order for them to have the entire process. For those who don't remember the hormones in sequence, please remember the first hormone for menstrual cycle is FSH. Second is estrogen. The third is luteinizing hormone. The fourth is progesterone. So without the FSH, the entire process cannot take place. What is the function of FSH? What does FSH stands for? FSH stands for follicle stimulating hormone. Stimulating means what? Any hormone that has stimulating, they will stimulate the word in front. So they will stimulate the growth of follicles. So the follicle become bigger in size. Also, you have secondary oocytes, secondary follicles that release secondary oocytes. Only you have luteinizing hormone to release secondary oocytes. May I know ADH? Those also need to write in full word. Yes, any hormones also need to write in. The longer, the full form. Endometrium wall becomes thinner. Actually can. Thinner also can. Just like I suddenly remember, I forgot to mention the osmotic pressure. Please someone remind me later again, osmotic pressure. Okay, let me finish this one first. Okay, so you can see that is to stimulate the development of follicles to ensure follicle to mature into, you can write secondary follicles or you can write the largest follicle required as Graafian follicles. Graafian follicle is the one that release secondary oocytes. Graafian follicle that can release secondary oocytes. Actually, if you want to inject a lot of FSH, it's not good for human body lah. I mean, in the future, if you want to know, it's not good for a human body because sometimes when you produces too much of, when you stimulate too much of, secondary oocytes, right? They kind of like harm your ovary, and if it's worst case, you have to remove the entire ovary. So what do you mean by osmotic pressure? Okay, I spent like one minute to explain what is osmotic pressure because just I forgot to explain what is osmotic pressure. Okay, guys, for those who don't know what is blood osmotic pressure, okay, osmotic pressure, blood osmotic pressure means what? It means that it's the amount of solute in your blood. For example, high blood osmotic pressure means more solute. Lower blood osmotic pressure means lesser solute. More solute means what? More solute, it means that, for example, when you are thirsty, when you carry out vigorous exercise, when the person has kidney failure, the person has lesser water, more other substances, right, required as high blood osmotic pressure. When the person is like me right now, okay, there's no dehydration, there's no sweating, means we have a normal blood osmotic pressure. We have lower solute in our body. Because when you have a higher solute in your bloodstream, right, you're gonna get dehydration. If it's worst to worst case, you have to go for a kidney, you have to go for the dialysis already, which is worst scenario, kidney failure lah. Teacher, can I write uterus lining instead of endometrium tissue? Yes, you can. Uterus lining and endometrium tissue, endometrium wall is the same thing. Okay, can? Okay, next question. This is Form 5, Chapter 3. Yeah, this is a very messy question. King Y. Oh, I remember you, King Y. Okay, teacher, GnRH hormone can write in short form. GnRH hormone you can write in short form. This is the special one. But usually in exam, I don't think you have chance to write GnRH hormone, by the way, because it's very rare to ask GnRH hormone. But if you want to write, of course, you can write about menstrual cycle. Okay, 2.2 shows a seedling which is placed in horizontal position during germination. Name hormone involved in this response. So we have to explain this thing. It's also important subtopic that you have to know. It's because that this one also haven't come out for a very long time already. Please take note at this part. What is a plumule? What is a radical? For those who don't know, plumule, it means the shoot. Radical, it means the root. Okay, radical roots. Plumule, it means shoot. Anything related to this diagram. Okay, this diagram. Remember, auxin, guys. Auxin. I should have written it over here. Auxin. Okay, auxin. Auxin has two things. Okay, two characteristics in this diagram. Number one, at shoot, they will promote elongation. At the root, it will inhibit elongation. It means if it's shoot over here, because auxin is produced at the tip of shoot and tip of root, right, which is over here, tip of shoot, tip of root, due to gravitational force or gravity, they will be deposited or accumulated at the base of the horizontal base of the shoot and root. So since shoot promote elongation, right, this one, it becomes longer part. Radical inhibits elongation. This part, it becomes shorter. That's why this one, it will bend outwards. This one, it will grow downwards. Shoot and root. Shoot, the reason why they bend outward is because that they need to get sunlight, right, in order for them to carry out photosynthesis. The root that bend downwards because they want to absorb more water and mineral. In this diagram here, can you see any sun? No sun, right? No sun means you cannot write what? You cannot write about phototropism. No sun, you can only write about geotropism. Because there's no sun, how do you assume this is a phototropism? Unless the question gives you a sun, then only you can write phototropism. You can write the shoot is positive phototropism, the root is negative negative phototropism. Since there is nothing here, no sun here, we can only base on the geotropism. So for shoot, since we cannot write phototropism, right? So this is a negative geotropism. This is a positive geotropism. It means it goes towards the ground, goes towards the gravity. In the space provided, draw and label the observation which will be seen on the seeding after 3 days. So as I mentioned just now, the shoot, it will bend upward, the root, it will bend downward. Okay, again, I have to show my very ugly drawing. So first, you just draw the upper part. Okay, like that. A bit ugly. And then this one have to go upwards. Okay, and this one have to go downwards. Like that. Oh no. Am I supposed to draw better version? Cannot draw better version. Okay, like that lah. Okay, can lah, like that. Okay, as long as you show one upwards, one downwards, can already. Please remember to label. Just label everything that you draw. Is the safest. If not, just now, see, I forgot to label. Missing one mark already. So this is shoot, or you can say plumule. If you write shoot, also correct one actually. And this is radical. Radical, it means this is a root. Okay, explain how the response shown by plumule occurs. In this question, right, what they ask, they only want you to write the shoot. Means you don't have to explain anything about the root. Only write about shoot. Don't have to write anything about the root. Okay, so since shoots, auxin, it will be deposited at the base of the shoot, right? It will promote elongation. Since they promote elongation, it means that the bottom part, it will have a faster growth rate. So since the bottom part has a faster growth rate, they will curve up. They will curve upwards. Okay, just explain this kind of already. 2 marks only. Unless it's an essay question, you're gonna write everything down. I don't know whether I did in MRSM or SCP or not. I forgot already, guys. I just remember I did it in my previous class. Auxin accumulated at the horizontal base of shoot due to gravity, or you can say due to gravitational force, or gravity also can, gravitational pull also can. Auxin stimulate elongation at lower part of shoot that causes it to elongate faster than upper part. The shoot bends upward, which shows a negative geotropism, which shows a negative geotropism. Okay. I think I speak very fast today. Not bad. Which is my normal speed. Because I think my MRSM and SVP is a bit slow. That's why you can times 1.5. Am I too fast, guys? It's okay. Like if I'm too fast, you just drag the thing back, okay? Drag it back, then can already. Okay, next one. Question 4.1 shows the relationship between the blood circulatory system and the lymphatic system in human. This is Form 5, Chapter 1 under lymphatic system. Whenever you look at lymphatic system, please remember 3 parts with 3 labeling. Okay, 3 parts with 3 labeling. First of all, we're going to find the first part. Okay, the first part, it must be the blood capillary. So in this question, okay, you're going to find blood capillary first. We have artery, we have vein, right? It means this part here is the blood capillary, but there are one part they ask you to label it is a blood capillary, which is the vessel X. If you notice, vessel X is under artery, right? So it is a blood capillary. So this is a blood capillary. Let me label here. Blood capillary, okay? Second one, okay? What is the your bio power already? So your speed is good enough. You all should have the same level also actually. Scared. Teacher can go faster. Teacher rap faster in class. In my normal class is faster, right? Okay. I will try to remain this speed because sometimes when I speak too fast, then I cannot pronounce the word properly already. Okay. So the second part is what? The second part is the interstitial space. Where is the interstitial space? You have to find in between an open space. Okay. This open space, right, is over here. This one is interstitial space. Interstitial space, also known as the intercellular space, both also correct. Interstitial space or intercellular space, whichever that you prefer, both also correct. So this is the second location. The third location is the limb capillary. So limb capillary obviously is obvious a vessel. Why? Because you only left one choice over here. So this is the limb capillary. So if you don't know how to differentiate whether it is a blood capillary or limb capillary, very simple. They will give you some hint here. One. Can you see this artery here, right? So since it's artery, the one that goes in over here, this part here, it must be blood capillary. And for limb capillary, if you notice, this one here is limb, right? I mean, it goes here, right? And then it's limb, right? So that's why vessel Y is the limb. Besides knowing the name, what do you have to know? You have to know about the content in blood, in all of the part here. Blood capillary content, they have blood, plasma. Second one, interstitial space, what do they have? They have interstitial fluid, which is fluid Z. Tissue space can. Interstitial fluid. And then the last one is limb. So this is the label part that you have to know. The fluid inside the label part. Okay? So since we have all of these things already, we can go to the question already. Name the following vessel X and vessel Y. We have the answer blood capillary and limb capillary. Intercellular space and tissue space also can, but I prefer you to write interstitial space or intercellular space. These two. Intercellular space, because for tissue, right, required as tissue fluid lah. But that one is KSSM syllabus actually. But if you follow the KBSM one, it will be interstitial space or intercellular space also can. Okay, explain how fluid Z is formed. What is fluid Z again? Fluid Z is the interstitial fluid, right? So if it's interstitial fluid, how do they form? Okay, because as I mentioned, there are 3 different parts, right? Number 1, 2, and 3. It means what? This interstitial fluid come from the blood capillary. Okay, actually it's like that. Okay, let me draw a very simple version. Okay, this is the body cell. This is the blood capillary. This is the interstitial space, I in short form. This is the body cell. Okay, because blood capillary has 2 ending. 在未成年讲过这个课好像没有嘞。这个好像没有在未成年讲过。I don't think I explained this unless it's in my video, like my normal video. I explained this before. So, by the way, this one we have 2 endings. So the first ending, the first part we call it as arterial end. The other part we call it as venous end. Or venial end also can. Venial end sounds better lah. Venial end. venial end. Something I cannot spell the word. Venial end, arterial end, and venial end. Arterial means a smaller version of artery. Venial, it means a smaller version of vein. Okay. So at arterial end, due to different size of the ending, okay, it will cause a high hydrostatic pressure. Okay, just now we learned about hydrostatic pressure at the kidney, right? It's also because of different size of lumen, right? Bigger lumen to smaller lumen, right? This one also the same. Because different size of lumen, that's why they have high hydrostatic pressure. High hydrostatic pressure. Since they have high hydrostatic pressure, just now we learned about kidney. It will force the fluid out from the kidney, right? What do they force out? Besides what? They will, besides red blood cell and plasma protein. Why? Because they are too large, right? Same as this part, okay? Most of the fluid, it will diffuse into it. Besides, except red blood cell, except plasma protein, and platelet. Why? Because they are too large to diffuse across, same as the reason just now we learned about kidney. Because all of the fluid diffuse into the interstitial space, it will cause edema, means like your body tissue will be swollen. I don't want that to happen. So what happened is they will return back to the bloodstream. So let me use other color. Okay, here. Okay, they will return back to the venial end. Okay, how many percent return back? It will be 85 to 90% return back. If they ask you why they return back, you have to say that because at venial end, it has a low hydrostatic pressure. Arterial end has a high hydrostatic pressure, right? Venial end has a low hydrostatic pressure, so it will return back. What about the 10 to 15%? The 10 to 15%, it will go to the lymph. It will go into lymph capillary as lymph, okay? Lymph capillary as lymph. Okay, so this is how the entire things work. So we're gonna form sentence right now. So for this one, you're gonna say that fluid Z is interstitial fluid. Okay, we're gonna start sentence from here. First, you're gonna say that high hydrostatic pressure occurs at arterial end of blood capillaries due to different size of lumen. Elephantiasis, as same as edema, is different. Elephantiasis is caused by parasites. Edema is just that accumulation of fluid in the body, in the space. So the body tissue will be swollen. So elephantiasis must have the parasites. So a different size of lumen. Okay. Next one. This pressure causes most of the fluid to diffuse into interstitial space. Most of the fluid. Okay, if you want to be more complete, you can say that this pressure causes most of the fluid from blood plasma to diffuse into interstitial space. So this is the answer. Okay, now then with this one, we're gonna move towards to C. Okay. You're okay here, right? You're okay up to here, right? Can write, okay? If you have any question, you can just write it down. I will explain whenever I see your question or whenever I finish a question. Okay, next one. 85% of interstitial fluid that leaves the blood must be returned into blood circulatory system. Explain what will happen if the excess interstitial fluid fails to be returned to vessel X. So when you have extra interstitial fluid that cannot be turned back, we call it as edema. In this question, if you write elephantiasis, your answer is wrong. If you write elephantiasis, you must write edema, not elephantiasis, it's edema. So this one you can just write edema occurs where excess fluid accumulated at interstitial space. This causes body tissue to be swollen. What is spleen? Spleen is the one that breaks down the blood. It's the one that stores the red blood cells. Spleen is it's on your one part of the body. So if you want to, okay, sorry, this is not good. Okay, so if someone murders someone, they will pierce through the spleen because it's the one that stores red blood cells. Okay, Kent. Next one, D. 4.2 shows one of the body defense mechanism that occurs in the lymph node. This is also under Form 5 Chapter 1. When it comes to body defense mechanism, we have first, second, and third line defense mechanism. Whenever you see the word antibodies, okay, this one, whenever you see the word antibodies, you must remember this one obviously is the third line defense mechanism, because first line is very superficial one, like, you know, your skin, your saliva, your stomach, those are first line, very noob one, okay. The second one is like better version, which is phagocytosis, which we have phagocytes, the monocyte and the neutrophil, they will carry out eating process. Third line is the strongest line, okay. This strongest line, if it's not working right, you're going to get sick. So third line defense mechanism is the strongest because they use what? They use lymphocytes. Lymphocytes is the one that produces antibodies. Is the one that produces antibodies because it occurs at the lymph node, right? So you must remember a lymph node contains of lymphocytes. Lymphocytes is the one that contains of produces antibodies. They ask you to explain the mechanism used by antibodies to destroy antigen. There are 4 different mechanisms when you look at this diagram, because third line got 4 different mechanisms. The first mechanism is lysis. Lysis, it means breakdown only, not called lysis. Second one is known as opsonization. Opsonization is commit suiciding, like you commit suicide. Okay, opson. Jianyong. Oh my god, I just saw this name. I'm sorry, very surprised. My ex-student also. Third one, okay, we have neutralization. Okay, neutralization means you neutralize it. Okay, the fourth one, we have agglutination. Agglutination. So actually for this diagram, it is the agglutination. 兼用不行啦，不行啦，哎呦 okay. Agglutination. The answer is agglutination. So we have to explain what is agglutination. So they will stick on the antigen, will stick on the antibodies will stick on the antigen. Eventually, it will be eaten by the phagocytes. Opsonization, neutralization, and agglutination, they will carry out phagocytosis by the phagocytes. Okay, so this is the one. Can? Okay, you all know what is antigen and antibodies already, right? Antigen is a marker for the bacteria, requires antigen. Antibody is the one that helps us to kill microorganisms. Okay, so your answer is agglutination. Agglutination. So you have to explain your answer by saying that antibodies clump together and causes them to be unable to function. Unable to function. Next one, you can also explain by saying that phagocytes will then engulf the clumping pathogen by phagocytosis. Okay, Ken? This diagram is bad. Wow, you blame the diagram. Any important experiment in paper 3? Actually, right, you all try the state paper. All of the state paper, usually there will be one question from the state paper. One, I don't know which one, but it depends on your luck. And the question that usually haven't come up before, you have to focus on these 2 points. You try this year state paper for all of the state paper this year, and the question that haven't come out before. These are the 2 things that I can let you know. I mean, if you want to focus on paper 3, if you don't know what to study for paper 3. C. Health organization. Doctors and scientists agree that vaccines are safe and effective. Despite this, there is a growing movement of parents choosing not to vaccinate their children. Anti-vax parent, this one. Malaysia don't really have anti-vax parents usually because it's a must to be vaccinated. Anti-vaccination are almost certainly contributing to this trend. What are the effects of refusing vaccine to their child and community? Okay, we don't talk about COVID-19, guys. No COVID-19 here. We talk about the normal vaccination like hepatitis, chickenpox, like measles, polymyelitis, poliomyelitis. There's a lot of different viral infection that it will spread if you don't get the vaccination for the children. So if the children get all of the viral infection, right, the baby gonna get sick. So it's not a very smart idea that if you don't want your kid to be vaccinated, like why? I mean, besides COVID-19, because COVID-19 they have not enough of research for kids to have vaccination like below 16. Because if you think about it, right, if you have a kid like below 16 years old, would you let the kid to be the experiment for this medication? No, right? So for guys, every one of you, please go and get vaccinated. I mean, like if you are the anti-vax mindset, please go and get vaccination for COVID-19. Save the world, guys. Save your siblings, younger siblings. Anyway, write your answer. Not very smart parents. Refusing of vaccination. Yeah. Vaccination. Sorry, cannot spell the word vaccination. Causes child to encounter risk with their health and life. Child can be easily exposed to bacteria and virus or viral infection also can. It also spread disease and risk of health of other people in community. So please, this is how we save the world by getting vaccination, guys. Less immunity, depending on what kind of disease that we are talking about. Some of the disease, right? If you get it, you die. You die. You don't even have the chance to produce antibodies. You die, okay? But if it's chickenpox, then it's different because chickenpox you can recover, right? But if you get poliomyelitis, you're gonna die, guys. So yeah, that's why no one in Malaysia get polio anymore because we got vaccination. Next question. Finally, question 5. Okay, so question 5 is Form 4 Chapter 8 question. I actually mentioned for quite a few times before, no matter whether in the previous video or during my usual class, I say that Chapter 8 is not a very common asked question in Section A, but recent year, which is last year and the year before, they actually came out in Section A. Means you cannot choose this question you want to study or you don't want to study, because previously, right, you can actually skip Chapter 8 and Chapter 9 as an essay question because it's 4 choose 2 essay, right? You can actually skip Chapter 8 and Chapter 9 if you do want to do the essay question. But right now, it appeared in Section A. Since they appear in Section A, right, means you have to study already. Previously, they can just don't study Chapter 8 and 9, but you guys cannot lah, because Chapter 8 is the question that you will see in your exam, right? Chapter 9, you will not see in Section A. Chapter 9 is only Section B. Like it will be confirmed an essay question for Section B, okay? Usually for Section B, question 9 question are like K-BUT question, like you have to think one. It's an open question, so you have to think. We will try that question later. 5.1 shows the distribution of mangrove plants at the river mouth. Name one dominant plant at P and Q. So you're going to name the species. Whenever we explain about mangrove swamp, you must know 4 species here. For those who don't know the species, let me teach you a way to remember. Remember, a sexy red bull, okay? A sexy red bull. Okay, A is what? A we call it as Avicennia species. S we call it as a Soneraceae species. R is Rhizophora species. B is Bugera species. Hiya! You all watch too much of Uncle Roger already. I thought it's tissue lining. You study too much of doctor already. You go back to your doctor course, okay? This one is biology. Now they are SPM only. You already MBBS, you. Okay, so for these 4 different species, you must know in sequence. Why? Because you have to know for labeling. Since it's ASRB, right? Okay, ASRB, right? First of all, you have to find the river. The one that is nearest to the river or the mud bank, because they actually label the muddy bank, right? So muddy bank is not a species. A muddy bank is just a mud, right? Okay. After the muddy bank, it will be the first species, the one that is nearest to the muddy bank or nearest to the sea. This is the sea, right? Nearest to the sea. So P is the first species. So we have A, Abyssinia species. After P is what? Q, right? After P is Q, right? The one that nearest to the river, right? Q is Soneraceae species. And then we have R, Rhizophora species, and Bugera species. Remember in this sequence, you must know in this sequence. ASRB, sexy red boa, Abyssinia, Soneraceae, Rhizophora, Bugera. And what do you have to know here? You have to know which one is a pioneer species, which one is the successor species. Okay, so for pioneer species, what does pioneer mean? Pioneer, it means the first ever species recorded as pioneer species. Second one is the successor. Successor, it means the one that takes over the pioneer species. Abyssinia and Soneraceae species required as a pioneer species. If you want to choose which one is first, obviously it's Abyssinia lah. If they ask you to write only one. Rhizophora and Bugera species is the successor. Successor species is the one that takes over. Okay, it's the one that takes over. How do we know it's agglutination from the diagram? You have to study the diagram. You have to look at the diagram. Means you have to go through the diagram before. I mean later you flip through your notes. You can see there's a difference between that. I mean you have to recognize the diagram, this one. Okay, back to the question. Since we have labeled what is P and Q already, right? P is Abyssinia, Q is Soneraceae species. Mangrove logging activity are carried out uncontrollably in zone P, which is Abyssinia species. Explain the effects of mangrove logging activity at zone P on the mangrove succession process. So basically, this question, it says they cut the Abyssinia species. When you cut the Abyssinia species, it means that the roots cannot anchor on the soil. There will be aquatic animals underneath it at the roots, which is the whatever root is it, okay? We have to go through a root later. There's no more animals. No more animals. It means that the economy status, basically it will die. And they ask you about the succession process, right? When there is no pioneer species, obviously you cannot take over. How do you want to take over when there is nothing for you to take over? Right? It's like you're going for a competition, right? You are the only one person who compete. Means you are the only winner, right? So it's the same thing. You cannot you cannot take over when there's no one in front of you. How to be number 2 when there's only one contestant, right? Same goes to this as well. So for every senior species, what is the, okay, we're going to go through the characteristic first. Every senior species and Soneraceae species, they have long, extensive, cable root. Long, extensive cable root because they have to hold on the soil. Because there's soft and muddy soil, right? You can see there's muddy area. Rhizophora species, they have prop roots. Okay, prop roots. Bugera species, they have buttress root. Guys, it's buttress, not buttless. Okay, 不是没有屁股, it's not no butt. Okay, it's a buttress root. Okay. Anyway, besides this one, the other thing that you have to know about Abyssinia and Soneraceae species is they have a thing called eumatophores. Okay, eumatophores. Eumatophores, it is a breeding root. Eumatophores, it is a breeding root. So for breeding root, is a one that carry out gaseous exchange during low tide. Okay, besides this one, what do you have to know about the mangrove swamp? Before we continue with the question, because I want to explain everything first, okay? Besides this one, what do you have to know? You have to know other characteristics of mangrove swamp as well. Number 1, you're gonna know about they have thick cuticle and succulent leaves. What does succulent mean? Succulent, it means that they can store water. We call it succulent. So thick cuticle is to reduce rate of transpiration. Okay, rate of water loss. Succulent leaf is to store water. How to calculate frequency percentage? There's a formula there. You have to read through the formula. Just want to know, confirm tomorrow essay can write point form. Point form must be in a sentence form. Sentence form, okay? You cannot write point only, must be sentence form. Teacher, where is the hydatodes? Hydatodes is at the leaf. Okay, later. Since you mentioned about hydatodes, okay, next one, we have hydatodes, okay? Hydatodes is because they want to overcome the high salinity of seawater. So since Adrian asked what is the hydatodes, right? This is the leaves, okay? I cannot draw a very nice leaf, but this is the leaves. At the ending of the leaf, there are hydatodes over here. It's the same place where guttation takes place. The dot part, okay? So you can actually see there is water vapor. You know what's guttation, right? Also Form 5 Chapter 1. Guttation, okay? Guttation happens. It's between the leaf. So in the morning, you can see there's morning dew. So the droplet, the water droplet, they are from the hydatodes as well. But this mangrove swamp hydatodes is to release salt. There are salt on top. So if you go to picnic, not enough salt. You go to the mangrove plants and you collect some salt. I'm just joking, guys. Please don't do that, okay? So this is to overcome the high salinity. Salinity means salt concentration. Okay, another one, because I'm just writing a very short, like revising for you to remember what is the characteristics. I didn't write the entire thing though. Hydatodes. Next one, we have viviparity. What is viviparity? Because this one have to overcome the seed from dying. Overcome the seed from dying. So because there is mangrove swamp is muddy plant, right? So if the seed falls on the muddy soil, then it will be washed away by the seawater. So there is no more germination, right? So they will actually they will actually grow on the parent plant before they drop onto the mud. So they will drop before they grow bigger inside. It's like human. So human is viviparity as well. Viviparity. So because we stay in our mom's womb for 9 months, it's the same thing. Viviparity and parasitism, almost the same concept lah. Almost, I would say almost the same concept, because for viviparity plant, they will obtain the nutrients from the parents also. Like you when you're in the mother's womb. But you don't call yourself as a parasite, right? A bit sad though, you call yourself a parasite. You call as viviparity. Teacher, guttation and transpiration is same, different. Transpiration happens during the daytime, afternoon time. Guttation, it happens during the cold time and also the night time. So it's two different process, opposite process only. Okay? No need hydatodes for the answer, right? No need, this one no need. This characteristic is for what? I'll be scared if you ask me this question. This characteristic is for mangrove swamp. All of the characteristic is for mangrove swamp. Okay? So, the Eumatophos is the breeding root, as I mentioned just now already. This is the mangrove swamp characteristic. How do you want to have the adaptation for mangrove swamp? Okay. Mangrove swamp also must study a little bit, and the colonization and succession of pond must study a little bit also lah. Okay, in sentences for this one, you can say the number of Abyssinia species decreases. Lesser route to trap mud. The swamp or mangrove swamp become less dense and no successor species able to continue with succession process, because you have nothing from you have no pioneer species. How do you get successor species, right? Just like I mentioned, how does this entire thing works, right? Who is John's? Yeah, happy birthday, whoever you are. Okay. A study on mangrove swamp in Malaysia revealed that there were 25 times number of some fish species in mangrove areas compared to the areas where mangrove swamp have been cutting down. It shows that the mangrove swamp is a productive ecosystem that could provide numerous benefits to our economy. Based on the statement, give 2 reasons why the ecosystem in 5.1 needs to be preserved and conserved for our economy revenue. Okay, so over here, it says what? It says this is the fishes. It means what? You can use the fish to sell. Is it increasing your economical status of Malay of the country? Obviously, yes, right? But if you remove the mangrove swamp, basically you cannot earn money because the fish cannot be there. So that's why you have to preserve and conserve. You have to make sure that there are mangrove swamp. You have to make sure that there are mangrove swamp so that the economical status for fishermen or whoever or even for the mangrove trees in order to be there, so that Malaysia not okay, because it's Malaysia's because like Malaysia will be slightly better law, right? Not so poor, right? If I write the species incorrect, of course your answer is wrong. Species naming term in biology is important. But let's say you spell then, okay, you spell wrongly, or you spell therefore wrongly. You spell those is are doesn't matter one, but the keyword you must spell correctly. Maintain food web also can. Maintain food web, food chain also can. So you can write any two law. You can write act as source of food, or you can say breeding ground and nesting place for animal. Aquatic animal also can. So your choice are okay. Or you can say a main source income for fishermen, or you can say as a tourism area also can. Usually for mangrove some there's a lot of answer writing tourism area lah. So you can say as ecotourism or recreation area also can. Okay, next question. 5.2 shows a modern farmer was observing the damage at his paddy field. He noticed that the decrease of crop yield is caused by the mice in the area. So you have mice over here. 小老鼠, okay. The farmer carried out an activity to estimate the size of mice population in his paddy field. The result is shown in table 1. So in order for you to count the population of mice, you have a formula. Okay, before that, okay, you have to answer the technique that's used by the farmer. In order to count population, there's a technique here called capture, mark, release, recapture. Capture, mark, release, recapture. Capture, mark, release, recapture. If you miss one word, wrong. Okay, it's called capture, mark, release, recapture technique. What is a capture, mark, release, recapture technique? Capture means you catch. After you catch, you mark. After you mark, you release back to their habitat. After that, you recapture them again. So this release and recapture duration, right? It will be 2 to 3 weeks. Why cannot be too long? Because if it's too long, it means that the organism, they will move away from the area. They will die because of their predator. They will give birth, so that your number is not accurate anymore. So 2 to 3 weeks is enough. But why is it not lesser than 2 to 3 weeks? Because if it's lesser than 2 to 3 weeks, it means that they cannot mix with the population yet. So 2 to 3 weeks is the best idea. So it's the ideal time for them to hang around. Teacher, is there possible that reproduction and growth will come out for AC? I would say there are chances, especially for human growth and insects growth. There are chances as well, because for human growth and insects growth, it's a question that they have not come out for many years as well. Okay, so you can also focus, but there are a lot of questions that you have to know lah. Not only just this one, you have to know about Form 4 Chapter 3, Form 4 Chapter 6, Form 4 Chapter 4 also. Okay, based on table 1, estimate the size of population. Okay, what is the formula to calculate capture, mark, release, recapture? The formula very simple. First times second over mark, recapture. Okay, first times second over mark, recapture. So means what? Your answer is 70. First, right, times second is 85 over 40. Okay, you all do your calculation by yourself lah. So your answer will be a 149, I guess. 149, right? If there is decimal place, please round off your decimal place. Less than 4, do the normal mathematic round off, okay? So this is 149, because there is no 449.1 mice. Who is the 0.1 mice? Only the fur or only the leg? 149.5. What is left? Left the head, is it? So you cannot have any decimal place when you count for population. Teacher, will this video be posted after class? Yes, it will be repeated anyway. Okay, the farmer wanted to reduce the size of the rat population by using environmental friendly techniques. Suggest and explain the benefits of the technique. So suggestion is 1 mark, by naming it is 1 mark. Explaining the benefits is another mark. So what is the suggestion? If you don't want to use any, is a eco-friendly technique. Eco-friendly technique means what? This is a biological control. There's no pesticides, biological control. So your answer is biological control, or pre-predator also can. Biological control. So because if you use biological control, right, you will not harm any other organism. Basically, let's say if you use pesticides or whatever poison that you use, right, maybe it's not just the mice who eat the poison. So let's say the mice eat the poison. The other one who eats the mice, the other organism will also get the poison. So whoever who eat the organism will get the poison. So basically, it has a link for that lah. So for human who eats whatever things, we also get poison. I'm not saying that we eat mouse lah, okay? I'm not saying that we eat mice. I'm saying that other organism as well, like chicken or duck horse or whatever lah, okay? Biological control is the best one, but it's less effective lah if you compare with the pesticides. It's slow. So biological control, the disadvantage is they are slow. Okay. So this one you can see it kill rat without using poisons that will not cause pollution or water pollution or any type of pollution, or it will not cause any other organism from dying. And compare wise, they are actually cheaper but less effective in a way to say that, cheaper but less effective. Okay, can next questions. Finally, we are in essay questions. So essay question, this is Form 5 Chapter 2. Actually, for Form 5 Chapter 2, right, if you ask me whether it will come out or not, if they come out for human question, right, usually they are quite K, but it means they are like disease question. They don't ask what labeling question. That's too easy, guys. They will ask if this person got this position, got what disease. If this person got that thing, got what effect, something like that. They will not ask you, oh, what is this bone? What is this bone? What is this bone? That's too simple. So they will use another way for you to explain your answer. So for question 6, it says 6.1 shows the bone tissue of 30 years old woman. 6.2 shows the bone tissue of 30 years old individual suffering from osteoporosis. Suggest ways to maintain the bone condition as shown in 6.1. Okay, you want to make sure that this human here don't have any osteoporosis, right? Because you want to maintain, or basically you want to prevent osteoporosis. So you have two ways to prevent. Number one is by eating habit. Number two is by exercising, your lifestyle and your eating habit. So you can base on these 2 points to explain your answer. 4 marks, right? 2 for eating habit, 2 for lifestyle. Okay, so number 1, this is based on lifestyle. So if it's lifestyle wise, you can ask them to do more exercises. But the exercises carried out by osteoporosis is not lifting weight. Lifting weight confirm the bone will break. So you can gonna ask them to do the weight bearing exercise. What does the weight bearing exercise mean? Weight bearing exercise, it means that you use your own body weight or you use a very low weight thing to carry exercises. Like for example, you stand with one leg. Those are known as weight bearing exercise. Standing with one leg or using one hand to support those are called weight bearing exercises. You don't lift the weight, okay? So you can see carry out regular exercises. Okay, so we call it as weight bearing exercise. Okay, weight bearing exercise. Okay, another one besides that, why do you have to carry out weight bearing exercise? Is because that you want to increase bone mass. You have to make sure that your body is familiar with your own body weight. Like if your body is not familiar, right, it means what? It means when you jump, you fall, your bone break. If your bone is not familiar with your own body weight. So that's why you have to carry out weight bearing exercises so that your body will remember how heavy you are or how light you are, okay? Isometric is too hard for them, okay? Next one, we have eating habit. Eating habit, just now someone mentioned about increasing vitamin D, calcium, and phosphorus. Correct, okay? So vitamin D, calcium, and phosphorus, you can make it into 2 points because vitamin D increases absorption of calcium and phosphorus. That is also correct, okay? So for eating habit number 1, you can say take food that is rich in calcium. So calcium, they will form stronger bone. You can say take or consume more vitamin D. So you can absorb more calcium and phosphorus. more calcium and phosphorus. So basically, you already have your 4 marks over here based on the point that you write lah. In exam, please make sure that your sentence is full sentences. The one that I'm writing right now, this one is a full sentence. This one is a full sentences. So you can say, take food that is high in calcium so that stronger bone can be formed. Something like that lah, okay? So you have to make sure that you write in full sentences. Don't write something like that lah. Okay, can? So this is the answer. Next one, fish. Fish question actually came out 2 years ago as a structure question, 12 marks question. Okay, as a 12 marks question. So basically, this question, I don't know whether it will come out or not, but let's practice lah, just in case. Never know. Maybe paper 1, you need to use this answer. You need to use this knowledge also, right? 6.2 shows the lateral view of a fish. 6.4 shows the cross section of a fish at X showing the myotomes. What is the myotomes? Myotome means muscle required as myotome. Based on 6.3 and 6.4, explain the adaptation for fish to move in water. 6 marks, you can write 3 explanation. Can say 晒太阳，晒太阳不可以啦。Vitamin D, you cannot 晒太阳, okay? You cannot go under the hot sun. I mean, if you want, can lah. But vitamin D consume will be better, unless you choose the correct timing. If you want to obtain vitamin D, every day 8 o'clock. If it's 12 o'clock, also got vitamin D, right? But you also get skin cancer. Okay, so for fish question actually came out like 2 years ago. I think, yeah, your year, so sad. Okay, so this one, explanation. Okay, again, for those who don't understand what is explanation, what is adaptation. Explanation means you have to write statement and explain. Okay, statement and explain. We call explanation. What is adaptation? Adaptation means characteristic. Okay, it means characteristic. So you're gonna write 3 adaptation. Means explain. Statement, explain, statement, explain, statement, explain. Okay, can vitamin D not come from sun? Yes, it's come from sun, but who gonna go under the sun every single day? You obtain vitamin D will be the faster one. Okay, you eat. You can buy the supplement, whatever vitamin you want. Also got multivitamins. Also got. Okay, what is the characteristic of fish? Number 1, you can write. They have streamlined body. Means streamline, like what you. Okay, maybe you all don't remember your physics already lah. Okay, so you can see streamline body shape. So streamline body shape is to reduce water resistance. Okay. Number 2, you can write they have overlapping scale. This overlapping scale, it face backwards. Overlapping scale that face backwards. Okay, why must face backwards, cannot face frontward? Because the fish and the water is this direction. So the scale is following the direction of water. Because if it's opposite direction than water, right, the scale will drop, will fall off. So it must be the same direction of the water so that the scale will not fall off. So the overlapping scale is basically same thing, is to reduce frictional drag, which is the water resistance. So if you want to keep on writing water resistant, of course you can change other way of writing it, such as you can reduce frictional drag. Frictional drag. Okay. Next one, we have one more, right? Slimy coating. Slimy coating. Because if you touch fish before, you know that there's a slimy coating area. So slimy coating also same thing, is to reduce water resistance. Since all of the answers are similar, right? What else can you write? You can talk about fin later, but let me write the answer first. You can say reduce a drag force, or you can write maintain smooth flow of water over body. Okay, since you see all of these things is similar, it's okay. You have other answer to write as well. We talk about fin. This question is a very kind-hearted question. Why? Because they give you all of the labeling here. You can repeat explanation, but if you don't want, of course, you can choose other way of explaining. Because for fish, for bird, for what's it called? Earthworm, their explanation are similar. Means they only have one choice to explain. But other things you have other explanation, right? But fish only got the same explanation. You have no other explanation already. So for fin wise, okay, since I mentioned about fin, right? We have 5 fins in total. They actually give you the fin already. Pectoral fin, pelvic fin, dorsal fin, ventral fin, and caudal fin. For if you guys don't know the location, remember pectoral means the chest. This is the chest of the fish, right? Pectoral fin. Pelvic fin is the hip. I mean, pelvic we call it hip bone, right? So it's like their hip. The hip is over there. So the ratio of the fish is like 2 hip and then the leg, okay? Not the tail, okay? If you want to imagine this one. Next one, we have dorsal fin. Dorsal means the top part in scientific term. Ventral means the bottom part. Caudal means the ending part. Caudal means the ending part of a fish. It comes in 3 different parts. First, pectoral and pelvic fin. It is known as a pair fin. Okay, why is it called pair fin? Because left side got one, right side got one. Pair fin. Dorsal fin and ventral fin, we call it as median fin. Median fin means what? Median fin means they are in the middle. Tail fin is the caudal fin. Okay, these 3 different characteristics of fins, they have different function. Pair fin, they will prevent pitching. Okay, what is pitching? Pitching is the up-down movement. So the fish, it will not move like that. This is a very dumb, very cute fish. They don't move like that. Okay, so they can move upwards, they can move downward, but they cannot move like that when they swim. Okay, this is not a very smart idea. Prevent pitching. Number 2, they can act as a stabilizer. Okay, they can act as stabilizer so that they will not have like weird movement. They can also act as a brake lah. Dorsal fin and ventral fin, they will prevent. Let me cancel this one first. They will prevent rolling and yawing. Rolling is roll, like roll. Yawing is left, right. So if you understand Mandarin, just remember 摇 是 left, right, 就是左右摇摆的摇. Okay, so yawing is left, right. Okay, rolling is like turning 转 Tail fin is the caudal fin. Caudal fin is to provide forward thrust. Provide forward thrust. You all know what is forward thrust, right? Forward thrust means is to allow the fish to swim forwards. It's called forward thrust. So this is the characteristic of fish. If you don't want to write the streamline body, if you don't want to repeat the question, you can write the fin characteristic as well. Okay, so you must know about the earthworm and also know about the grasshopper as well. Grasshopper and earthworm. So grasshopper and earthworm, they have their own muscle and they have their characteristic. And also bird, bird also. Bird, 3 more. You can read through more or less the same. Fish and bird are quite similar as well. So you can read through that. Next one, human question. This is a guy, 37 years old male gardener. He shows early symptom of MSD, which is muscular skeletal disease. Muscular skeletal means what? Muscular means muscle, skeletal means bone. Okay, muscular means bone. So it's something to do with the bone and muscle. And it says, musculoskeletal disease consists of a minor physical disability that affects muscle, bone, and joint. MSD risk increase with age. Symptoms of MSD include muscular pain in wrist, knee, shoulder, and back. So you have swollen joint. Preventive measurement can be taken to prevent MSD. Changes in lifestyle habits and take suitable diet can help your bones, muscle, and joint together. Based on the above statement and your biological knowledge, suggest various ways that you can advise Mr. K to improve his health condition. So right now, you're going to imagine yourself as a doctor. Doctor, physiotherapist, or whatever. Okay, you have to imagine yourself as a medical student right now, okay? Since the person has MSD, what are the ways that you can advise him to overcome the problem? Because it's a minor effect of a daily life, right? So because he's a gardener, right, he has a vigorous activity, right, in a way to say that. Because he's a gardener, he always like bend down the body to cut, to move the things. Number 1, he has to wear suitable attire. Because if the pants is too tight, means the blood flow is not good. Okay, blood flow is not good. Number 2, he has to wear a better shoe. Means if the shoe is a bit with the high heels one, not the high heel that the girls wear. You know, some of the shoes are quite high. You all get what I mean right now? Higher heels one. So you have to wear a flat shoe so that they will not apply pressure on the knee. Take some MSG. Mr. K is weak. You all watch too much of Uncle Roger. Today I wear orange color shirt also. So Uncle Roger, weak people. Weak people also, lactose intolerance also weak for him. Okay, so anyway, these are the characteristics. Just I mentioned, you have to wear a better shoe. You have to make sure that the body structure, posture is correct. And you have to make sure that don't wear the tight clothes. And you have to consume a balanced diet. You have to eat more vitamin D, calcium, and phosphorus for them to have a better bone or better muscle formation as well. So I just write okay. 10 marks, you can write 5 statement, 5 explanation. If you don't have the 5 explanation, then you're going to write 6 points. and 4 explanation. As long as you have 10 points now, okay, as long as you have 10 things to write. So first you can see advise Mr. K to have to have a good posture, because bad posture leads to back pain, or the scenario will be weak, will be worse as well. So means like more back pain for him. Number 2, wear proper attire. Tight clothing can restrict blood circulation. Like for boys who like to wear the tight pants, you have to take care of your other little brother also lah, okay? You know, some people like to wear like super tight pants for boys. Sometimes the other part also need to breathe, guys. Okay, another one. Always wear a suitable shoes for activity, like such as the flat shoes. So the flat shoes basically, because the high heel shoe, it will apply pressure on it. So you can see high heels make body to lean forward and causes pressure on backbone and knee joint. So for girls who always wear high heels, you should feel the same pain as well. What Mr. K should do proper exercise. Can I see Mr. K should not force himself to do intensive activity? You can carry out rigorous activity actually, just that you have to reduce the amount of rigorous activity. Teacher, can I say change job? Cannot change job. People, this is the only job that he can do, right? Right, cannot, right? Okay. Okay, cannot write change job. So 可怜, okay, so 可惜 people. So you can say warm up before vigorous exercises. This is to loosen up the muscle so that you can prevent muscle cramp lah. Prevent muscle cramp. Okay? But Mr. K is a male. Y'all don't know, guys. You know boys' shoes, leather shoes, it has heel at the back. All of the leather shoe that boys wear, it has a heel at the back. But just that the heel is not the thin heel lah, okay? It's like a thicker one. That is also heel, like higher heels for leather shoes. If you guys notice leather shoe at the back got heels, right? Confirm got heels one. Next one. Consume a balanced diet. Or you can ask him to consume more vitamin D, phosphorus, and calcium. This is to prevent osteoporosis. Okay, so this is the answer. Hire other people to do it. He already a worker. How does a worker hire a worker? Hello. People where got money to hire? He work as one. Then you ask people to hire him. Hire other one. It's like me, okay? It's like I teach bio. I ask someone else to teach bio on behalf of me. What is this? Cannot be right. Okay, next one. Question 7. 7.1 shows the effect of imbalance of hormone X secreted by the pituitary gland, which is the master gland. Why pituitary gland known as the master gland is because that pituitary gland control all other endocrine gland by secreting hormone required as the master gland. So in this question, it says pituitary gland secrete X hormone. We have individual A, individual B, and normal person. Based on 7.1, explain the effects of imbalance of hormone X to individual A and individual B. Okay, so for this question here, you can see what? Different height, right? 1, 2, 3, right? Different height, right? You're telling me all the outsourcing lah, fire him lah, hire other people lah. No lah, guys. Okay, biology answer lah, okay? Obviously, different height means what? This pituitary gland, it will be your Growth hormone. Growth hormone. So growth hormone, actually in short form they call it GH, but we don't write GH, right? I mean, like it is a correct name for GH. So a tip for you, for those who don't know, a tip for you to know, most of the hormones from the pituitary gland, it has short form. Okay, it has short form like FSH, LH, GH, ADH, or whatever lah. Okay, the one with short form, they come from pituitary gland one lah. Okay, can So for individual A, can you see is like so tall, like taller than a normal person. So this person has gigantism or acromegaly, depending on whether it's a childhood or whether it's adulthood. The other one, the short individual B, the cute guy here, it is dwarfism. Dwarfism means a person lack of growth hormone. So basically A has a lot of growth hormone, B has lesser growth hormone. Individual A took his vitamin, no lah. The people who are born like that lah, okay? So you can say individual A has gigantism, or you can say acromegaly. Gigantism and acromegaly, one is childhood, one is adulthood. Gigantism is childhood. This one is adulthood. Okay. And then has gigantism or acromegaly. He grows abnormally tall due to over secretion of growth hormone. Okay. Next one. Of course, if you want to explain more, you can say they have abnormal increase of of bone density, of bone tissue also can. Abnormal increase in length of bones. 老师好，嘉恒. Chemistry over already. Bye, 嘉恒. Chemistry over already. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about B. By the way, Jahan is one of our chemistry teacher, so that's why I say bye to him because no more chemistry. Has dwarfism. So you can explain that this is due to under secretion of growth hormone. This retards the bone growth. Okay. How to draw paper tree graph? You have to see on your measurement, your number. Sometimes it's not straight. It can be curved. Usually they are curved lah. It can be straight also depending on the numbers itself. Easy biology. People who don't take biology say easy biology. Wow. Wow. Okay. Now, next one. We're going to look at the next question. Malaysia is experiencing global warming or the equinox phenomenon. Equinox means the sun is at above the equator, means very hot lah, okay? Twice each year in March and September. As a result of high temperature, we can expose to heat stroke, which the body temperature level can increase above 40.5 degrees Celsius. Normal individual body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. So obviously that this is what we call heat stroke. Heat stroke will cause someone to faint, or if it's very worse, it will cause someone to die. Diagram 7.2 shows the effect of the heat stroke of an individual. The internal environment of the body needs to be regulated to maintain body temperature at the normal range. Explain how physical action and metabolic processes regulate the body temperature on a hot day. In this question, we have two parts. Number one is based on what? The physical action. Number two is based on metabolic processes. But if you don't know which one is which one, it's okay. You write everything that you know from when a person experiences hot day. Okay, you just write everything you know based on hot day, okay? So when a person standing under the hot day, okay, what will happen to the person? Just write everything you know. You don't have to separate whether it's a physical action or metabolic process. Doesn't really matter, but just write everything down. So when a person is at the hot day, okay, negative feedback mechanism, correct, okay? So if it's a hot day, do you think the person will sweat more or sweat lesser? Sweat more or sweat lesser, guys? hot day, obviously they will, okay, sorry, I forgot this one is delayed 30 seconds to 1 minute. Okay, of course, they will sweat more, okay? So when they sweat more, it means that they can release heat, they can cool down their body temperature. Besides sweating, you can talk about the erector muscle. The erector muscle, they will stand up, they will lie flat, they will relax because they want to make sure that they don't trap heat, they want to release heat. The other one, we can also mention about the adrenal gland, we can mention about the smooth muscle, we can mention about the blood vessel. So when you feel hot, they have thing called vasodilation. What is the vasodilation? Vasodilation means that the blood vessel becomes bigger in size where they can release more heat. So that's why after exercises, right, your face will turn red. The reason why your face turn red is because that you try to release heat. Like, some girls or some boys after exercise, their face turn red, their ears turn red because our skin of the face and the ear is very thin. That's why you can see the redness in their face. So if you don't know, never mind, just based on what you understand when the person carry out exercises. After a person carry out exercises, it's the same answer as this one. Okay, we're going to write 10 sentences for this. First, you can see that the one that detects the changes in the body. So if you want to detect a changes based on temperature, what is the receptor known as, guys? What is the receptor known as? The one that detects the temperature. The receptor, it is known as thermoreceptor, okay? It's known as thermoreceptor because heat, right? Thermoreceptor. If you want to detect changes of water, they call it osmoreceptor. If you want to detect the blood pressure, we call it as a baroreceptor. If you want to detect concentration of carbon dioxide, we call it as chemoreceptor. So this one nothing to do with the ADH, nothing to do with the ADH at all. Oh, nothing to do with ADH. It's just based on the negative feedback of temperature. Okay, you can flip to your notes or flip to whatever exercises that you have is under negative feedback of your temperature. So the one that detects is called thermoreceptor. Okay, so you can see, yeah, thermoreceptor. Thermoreceptor in hypothalamus. I don't know, just now someone mentioned hypothalamus, I'm not forgot already. And skin detects the changes. Yeah. Detects the changes. I forgot to. Detects the changes in body. Next, we can talk about vasodilation occurs. Vasodilation means your blood vessel dilates. It's called vasodilation because the other one is called vasoconstriction, right? Vasoconstriction is the other thing already. This is vasodilation. And then you can talk about smooth muscle around smooth muscle contract. Wait, smooth muscle, not contract, relax. Smooth muscle relax. It increases amount of blood flowing through skin. More heat is lost to external environment through radiation. Sweat gland is stimulated to secrete more sweat onto surface of skin. Heat is absorbed to evaporate sweat, and this cools the skin. And then we can talk about the erector muscle. And you can see erector muscle in skin relaxes and hair is lower. Thin layer of air is trapped thin, fine hair. So heat can be released quickly. Next part, we can talk about the metabolism process. Okay, I changed another color for metabolism process. But you can write it in the same part. You don't have to write anything, just to show you which one is metabolism only. Metabolism is a process that happens in the body, which is more on hormones or more on the metabolic process, like conversion of glucose, something like that. So you can say skeletal muscle are not stimulated and body does not shiver. Shiver means when you feel cold, you will shiver your body, right? In Chinese, it's called 颤抖. 颤抖, I think it's called 颤抖 in Mandarin, okay? 颤抖, I think it's called 颤抖. Means when you feel cold, you have the reaction that you shake your body. And then adrenal gland and thyroid gland are less stimulated. That causes no secretion of adrenaline and thyroxine. Adrenaline are from the adrenal gland, thyroxine is from the thyroid gland. Next, you can say rate of metabolic lowers. So this is the answer. Can? You don't have to separate which one is physical. Is it called physical and metabolic? You don't have to separate. Just write everything that you know. When a person stands under the hot day, how do they want to regulate back to normal body temperature? The red face is not because they are shy. Because when a person is shy, it has the same reaction as well. When a person is shy, the blood becomes bigger, so they have more blood flowing. So when a person is shy, right, they will feel hot as well. They will release it also. Or like whenever you see someone that you like pass by you, or whenever you see the K-pop artist, you will scream, right? Then your face will turn red, right? Yeah, when you feel excited, it's the same thing also. Not heat receptor, no, it's called thermoreceptor. What about drinking alcohol? Drinking alcohol is the same as well. Drinking alcohol is the same thing. Same thing, okay? It's the same thing as this one. So during cold day, you shouldn't drink alcohol because when you drink alcohol during cold day, you will not cool down your temperature. It means you don't feel shock, okay? You will only release more heat and you feel even cold when you drink alcohol during cold day. So you shouldn't drink alcohol during cold day. Those K-pop drama, those K-drama is a wrong example because during K-drama, they like to drink alcohol during cold day, right? You will feel even cold after you drink alcohol during cold day. Okay, so this is the answer. Next one, B. It says, Malaysia records, okay, I read the entire question first, okay? Malaysia records the highest fat population in Asia. Inshallah, Malaysia is recorded as the country with the highest obese population in Asia. The tweet on the Twitter website of the Ministry of Health Malaysia in conjunction with World Diabetes Day today. The ministry explained that until November this year, Malaysia was the fattest country in Asia because 33% of the people were overweight and 80% were obese. What is the difference between overweight and obese? Okay, this due to BMI lah. Overweight and obese, which one is worse? Obviously, it's obese. Overweight for BMI wise, right, is 25 to 29.9. Obese is 29.9 to 34.9. This is the BMI lah, based on the BMI, but don't have to know also, never mind. Last April, Health Minister Datuk Seri Zulkifli Ahmad also announced that Malaysia as the country with highest number of obesity population in Asia since 2015. He said that the statistics were very worrying because obesity was one of the main factors for large number of chronic disease. Obesity and diabetes are two closely related health problems. This is because unhealthy eating habits will affect increase in blood sugar level that results in health problems. Based on above statement, explain how blood sugar level can be regulated. But for real, Malaysia has a lot of people with diabetes and also a lot of people with heart problem. Like for real one, this one is like for real one, okay? So for those who like to drink boba tea or whatever thing, you have to make sure that you reduce the intake of sugar. if you really like to drink. Adrenal gland and thyroid gland detects what? Adrenal gland and thyroid gland is the one that produces hormone. Adrenal gland, adrenaline, is the one that increases your blood pressure. Thyroid gland is the one that secretes thyroxine, is the one that regulates increase metabolism rate. Okay? Okay, so over here, we will talk about how do you want to regulate your blood glucose level based on the person has diabetes. When a person has high sugar level, we have to lower down, right? So if you want to lower down, we have to secrete a hormone. The hormone we call it as insulin. Okay, type 2 diabetes, correct? It's type 2 diabetes. Okay, we have to reduce glucose level by having a lot of insulin, because excess glucose will be converted to glycogen by using insulin, where they are produced from the pancreas, the beta cell of islet of Langerhans. If you want to write that, also can, but if you don't want to write, also can. It's in your syllabus, the thing. The islet of Langerhans, the beta cell, and the alpha cell is in your syllabus. But if you don't know, never mind, guys. Just write insulin and glucagon is enough already. So insulin is to convert excess glucose to glycogen, and the glucose will store in liver or muscle cell. So when you have too much of glycogen, because glycogen is like a power bank, it will be full, right? So when it's full, right, all of the glucose, it will store as a fat. And of course, you have to make sure that you use the glucose. You have to make sure that you use the glycogen, you use the fat as energy. So you can convert the glucose into energy by carrying out cellular respiration. Inject insulin, yes, correct, you can inject insulin. But this one don't have to inject insulin lah, just based on your human body can already, because human body, we can also produce insulin. Unless you have diabetes, then you have to inject insulin. So actually this question, just write, when you have a high glucose level, how do you want to regulate back? Okay, when you have a high sugar level, how do you want to regulate back? That is the thing that you have to take note to write. So first you can say, when blood sugar level or blood glucose level, also correct, it's the same, is above the normal range, beta cell of islet of Langerhans at pancreas is stimulated. Okay, but if you don't know the islet of Langerhans, beta cell of islet of Langerhans, it is okay, guys. If you don't know this one, it's okay. Don't have to write this. Pancreas is the one that secretes insulin, not liver. It's pancreas. Liver is the one that converts glucose to glycogen only. And then next one, it secretes insulin into bloodstream. Insulin convert excess glucose into glycogen in liver. Okay, liver. Liver is the one that converts. Yes, it will store in the liver, correct? Okay, and then you can see excess. Glycogen. Haven't mentioned about glycogen. The glycogen store in liver and muscle cell. Muscle cell also can store. That's why it will turn into fats at your body. Okay, next. Excess glucose convert into lipid. This reduces blood glucose level. Remember, if it's a negative feedback mechanism, always write reduces blood glucose level back to normal range. Okay, back to normal range. You cannot say just reduces blood glucose level, because this is a negative feedback mechanism. What is a negative feedback mechanism means? It means you have to go back to normal range. Only can consider as a negative feedback mechanism. If it's not, then your answer is not correct law. Okay, if you want to say increases, you must also write increases back to normal range. So for every homeostatic question or negative feedback mechanical question, you have to write decreases back to normal range or increases back to normal range. You have to say back to normal range. Where is the ecosystem question? It's not really about Form 4 Chapter 8. The mangrove sum question is Form 4 Chapter 8. It's ecosystem. Okay, Ken? Okay, now next question. Question 8. Question 8, this is Form 4 Chapter 6 question. Diagram A shows the sample serving based on Malaysia Healthy Plate. Malaysia Healthy Plate illustrate the relative quantity of various food classes in a balanced diet. Teacher, why not glycogen to lipid? Not glycogen to lipid, is glucose to lipid. Glycogen is a storage. It's a power bank. So it's not glycogen to lipid. It's glucose to lipid. Okay? Because when you break down fats, you break down into glucose. You don't break down into glycogen. You get what I mean, right? When you break down fat, it's straight away into glucose already. Glycogen into glucose, fat into glucose. Explain the importance of having a balanced diet to a diabetic patient. So again, this is what? This is a diabetes patient. Of course, if the person has diabetic, right, you have to reduce carbohydrate. Makes sense, right? Because carbohydrate, it has sugar. We have monosaccharide, disaccharide, and polysaccharide. Means sugar, such as fruits, milk, malt, rice, those are carbohydrates. Fruits, you can eat fruits for diabetic patient, but they have to eat fruits that is not sweet. Banana is a good example that is not sweet. It's the one that provides potassium. You can eat green apples. You can eat pineapples, but you cannot eat like sweet food like grapes. Too sweet already. Like a watermelon that is too sweet, they cannot eat that. They have to eat like the not sweet fruits. A bit sad lah, but yes, this is true. So you can consume a balanced diet by eating lesser rice, drinking enough water, eating fruits, eating protein, enough of protein as well. Based on this one, you can just write what you understand here. And when you eat vegetable and fruits, right, you are not trying to increase your blood sugar level. You are trying to help in peristalsis. So it's easier for them to absorb, easier for them to break down as well. Reduce protein. No, protein will not cause, protein don't cause diabetic unless the person really needs a lot of energy. Then only they will convert protein into glucose, which is blood sugar level. But usually when you eat protein, they will not increase your blood sugar level. So you can eat protein. That's why people who want to be fit, right, they will stop all the carbohydrate, they just eat protein, like chicken breast, those, if you want. But I'm not the person who are that extreme yet. So you can see, reduce intake of carbohydrate, but need to ensure they receive sufficient energy to carry out daily activities. Because if they have no glucose, right, then it's very hard for them to survive also, right? Like no glucose, if the person is like who likes to do gym, then how? Then cannot do gym, no energy, Brown rice is a good choice, guys. And you can see reduce intake of fatty food, or you can say oily food, or you can say food that is high in cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol, the low density lipoprotein oily food, or whatever cholesterol also can. This is to reduce the risk of having cardiovascular disease. Or you can say arteriosclerosis also can, blockage of artery in the blood vessel. Okay, next we have next I continue with this one. I haven't finished this sentence yet. Reduce risk of having a cardiovascular disease, which may leads to stroke or heart attack. But it depends on whether it is a cardiovascular disease or not. The symbol means what? The symbol means it is lack or what? You guys don't scare me with the symbol, Okay, heart attack. Okay, so stroke, guys, remember, stroke means the blockage is in the brain. Okay, heart attack means that the blockage is in the heart. So if you want to talk about cardiovascular disease, the example is heart attack. Okay, can only give EC without Hurayan. If you have no explanation, then you can give EC, or you can give the statement only. I mean, it's acceptable lah, okay, but you have to make sure that you explain for some of the point, because not every point you can explain. But if you can explain, you must explain. Okay? Okay, thanks. Okay, so next one. This one. Increase intake of vegetable and fruits. But as I mentioned, the fruits that you eat, you have to make sure that there is not sweet. Okay, next one, you can say this one is to promote peristalsis, is to avoid constipation. If you have any blood clotting mechanism area in your body, you can also use vitamin K or calcium ions to help in blood clotting mechanism. So that's why it can also helps in quick recovery, enable quick recovery if you have any related disease that you need to use vitamin. Another one, you can see manage body weight. You can manage body weight by controlling blood glucose level by reducing intake of carbohydrate, so that this one can reduce risk of infection. Okay, why? Is because that if you have diabetic mellitus, right, and when you have a cut on your hand, you are very hard to recover from it. Is because that the blood flow is very slow. The reason why blood flow is very slow is because the people with diabetic mellitus, right, their blood vessel is hardened. So when it's hardened, the blood flow is low, so that the blood clotting mechanism occurs very slowly. So that's why you have infection when the wound is not closed. So that's why people who have diabetic mellitus, they always go for operation. When they have infection, they have to cut the fingers, cut the hands, amputation. Prevent constipation. Yes, the vegetable is the prevent constipation. Vegetable. Okay. Is each explanation got marks? Yes, got marks for each explanation. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I think in front also got different one, right? So each of the point got 1 mark. Okay. Teacher, what importance of balanced diet? Yeah, this is a balanced diet. So if you want to manage your body weight, or by reducing intake of carbohydrate, so you can reduce the risk of infection. Balanced diet means that food intake, right? Anything related to food intake is here. Wrong cancel right apply on which kind of question? Usually, wrong cancel right don't really happens in biology, but I have students who always ask me wrong cancel right. Wrong cancel right means that you can only choose one. Okay, for example, you have A, B, C, D as your answer. A, B, C, D. Okay, you can only choose one answer, right? You cannot choose A, B, C, D, right? You cannot guess your answer. You cannot choose all answer. Like for example, right now you are talking about diabetes mellitus. You don't talk about other disease, right? Like people with diabetes insipidus is 2 different case. If you're talking about other different case, means your answer is totally wrong. Wrong, they don't minus your mark one, means no marks only. They don't like reverse and minus your mark. You don't guess your answer. You don't write everything. You write whatever answer it is. So you cannot guess your answer, but they will not be wrong cancel right lah. So let's say you write 2 answer for this one. Okay, let's say 2 answer, which they are opposite meaning. Means your answer is wrong also. Wrong. Okay, they will not deduct a mark, just wrong only. Okay, well, I heard someone had say without eating carbohydrate will have poor memory. Is it true? No. There are a lot of people these days, they don't eat carbohydrate. Like they don't eat carbohydrate. They don't eat rice, but they eat other substances. Like for example, they eat milk, they eat fruits. Fruits also carbohydrate. So cannot say that they are, bad in memory, because they have other way of consuming carbohydrate. Even milk also considered as carbohydrate. Okay, table 8 shows the nutritional information of drink. There's a lot of things here. I don't have to read the content. So what they want you to write is, based on table 8, determine the total calorie of drinks if a boy takes 6 glasses of drink per day. Shows your calculation. So this one is the drink, 250 ml. He drinks 6 glasses. You have to count your calories. Okay, calories. Like for example, 1 glass is how many? 250 ml, right? Just now we highlight the thing, right? Right now, this boy here drinks 6 glass. So means what? 250 times 6, you get 1500 ml, correct? I mean, I don't know whether it's correct or not, but I think it's correct, okay? Next, we have to count the calories. Okay, what is the calorie? They say every 100 ml is 62 calorie, or you can use 250 ml as 155 calories, whichever two also can, okay, whichever two also can. So let's say I choose the 100 ml one lah, your choice. So the total calories will be 1500 divided by 100, because that one, they give you the answer, times 62. So your answer is 930 calories. Hopefully that I got the answer correct. Okay, Masa the best. Well, all of you study Masa here, is it? Why all of you go Masa for what? Okay, all of you doctors still come and listen to my bio for what? Already year 1, year 2 already. Hello, y'all. Okay, next question. This question here, right, actually never come up before also. Food processing question. Food processing question, maybe you have to take note, but never mind, we try one question for milk question here. It says, milk processing is a process that involves the preparation of milk to ensure it is safe to drink either immediately or for a longer period of time. Based on the above statement, explain 3 methods of milk processing so that it can last longer. So 3 methods. What are the 3 methods? The first one, we have pasteurization. Number 2 is UHT, ultra heat temperature, UHT. The third one is refrigeration, okay? Refrigeration, okay? So for this 3 method, basically, you have to explain your answer. Why 62? Because the question gives you per 100 ml is 62 lor. You can use, if you guys don't know, this one is, you can also use 1000, okay, let me show you another one. You can also use 1500 divide by 250 times 155. Okay, so your answer is also 930 calories. Okay 看老师你不饿吗？还好啦 ，OK， 还可以，要叫完先才可以吃东西。If you guys feel hungry, don't worry, guys. You can eat later. Biology cannot study later. 3 process. This is Form 4 Chapter 6, guys. For those who don't know, this is Form 4 Chapter 6 under food processing. Please go and read the rest of it. There's a lot of food processing methods. A lot, guys. It's a lot lah. Not only milk a lot lah. Please go and read it up. So since number 1 is pasteurization. Number 1, pasteurization. Wait, I spell wrongly already. No wonder the spelling so weird. Pasteurization. Pasteurization. Okay, pasteurization. So what is the difference between pasteurization and UHT? Very simple. Pasteurization means that you must put the milk in the refrigerator. UHT means you can put it on the rack. Like for example, fresh milk always in the refrigerator, like fresh farm. Always in the refrigerator. HL milk is a pasteurized milk. All the fresh milk is pasteurized milk. If it's UHT milk, you can put it in the room temperature. For example, Good Day milk. And what brand I don't know, guys. Okay, Good Day milk, you can put it in the like room temperature, so don't have to be refrigerator temperature, like cold temperature. So pasteurized milk actually compare wise, right? Pasteurized milk don't last so long compared to UHT. So these two things have different way of processing. So for pasteurized milk, right, they have to heat milk at 63 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. Okay, or heat milk at 72 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds. Okay, then followed by rapid cooling below 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, 10 degrees Celsius. So it is able to kill microorganism without destroying nutrients content. Okay, another one we call it as UHT. Whenever you buy milk, please read the box content of box. They actually write pasteurization or they actually write UHT at the box. Confirm got one this one. UHT means ultra high temperature. Ultra high temperature. So basically you have to heat milk at 132 degrees Celsius for 1 second, followed by rapid cooling. The numbers, the temperature, you gonna remember lah, guys. Okay, this one, like, I don't have a way to remember the temperature, but you just have to know the temperature, okay? So you actually have a higher temperature, only they use it for 1 second, okay? So this one also same thing. They are able to destroy microorganisms without destroying the nutrients content as well. I write it again, just in case you all don't know what I'm trying to say. It's the same thing because no matter what kind of food processing, you just want your food to last longer, right? Destroying nutrient content. Okay, next one we have the refrigeration, like normal refrigeration. Refrigeration means you put it in a refrigerator lah, okay? Refrigeration, the milk is chilled at temperature between -2 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius. Microorganisms are not killed but made inactive at low temperature. Because some people they squeeze the milk from the cow and the goat, they put it in the refrigerator, right? So this is the one. Its pasteurization is 巴氏杀菌法. Wow, sounds like it. 我不懂是不是啦 but it sounds like it 啦 okay? 我不懂是不是叫巴氏杀菌法 okay? 应该是吧，不好意思，我不知道这个。How can the milk just be heat for a short time, just 1 second? It's a technology lah. This one is just a technology. You have to know the technology. That's all only. Then I need to memorize it. Then it means you study for too late already. This one people should know since what form 4, guys. Refrigeration, okay. Food processing. Not only this one, there's a lot of food processing also. So you have to study the food processing. Okay, next question, question 9. Oh, finally we are the last question already. So question 9, it says 9.1 shows the dumping site at the Kumbrong area, Melaka. Based on diagram 9.1, explain the effects of unplanned waste disposal on human health from garbage dumping and how to overcome the problem. So same thing, we have two questions here. Number 1 is effect of simply throw rubbish. Number 2, how to overcome the problem. You can write 5-5. You can write 6-4. You can write 7-3. So it's your choice. As long as your answer got 10 sentences, your answers are correct. Okay, as long as got 10 sentences. 原来老师读 bio 没有翻译华语，没有啊，我的because I don't teach UEC, I don't teach 读中生啊, like people who study UEC, I don't teach that. I only teach SPM students. So yeah, I don't really like translate into like specific term for biology. Unless you are from UEC law, like 读中生 then it's different already. Any tips to remember this temperature? Sorry, I have no tips. I just remember. So maybe you can just remember. I have no tips to remember temperature. Sorry, guys. Okay. 大家加油，离晚餐又靠近一步了。Okay, you can eat dinner later. Guys, you can eat dinner later. Okay, number 1, we talk about effect first, guys. Effects. Okay, you can write 5-5 as I mentioned. You can write 7-3. You can write 6-4. Your choice. What is the effect of simply throwing rubbish into the into the water. Number one, of course, you have water pollution, right? So water pollution, when human drink the water, obviously that human going to get different disease. Besides that, it will affect the aquatic animal in the river. Not only aquatic animal, even aquatic plant will also be affected. So the entire food chain will be affected as well. So the landfill, it will be filled with a lot of methane gas, because this is not just water pollution, right? There's like dumping site. There's a lot of rubbish in the area. So if there's a lot of rubbish, right, it means that they will release methane gas. Methane gas is a very smelly gas. It will cause pollution as well. Okay, there's a lot of pollution as well. Actually, in Malaysia, we have a lot of dumping area. We just don't live at the dumping area. But after a few years, they will use the dumping area as a housing area. So some of the houses, when your house is built above all the rubbish, right, when they decompose, your house will become lower. I mean, actually said that, okay. Okay, can, okay. So for effects, you can write a waste product breakdown that release harmful component into viewer water. This causes humans to have health risks when humans obtain water from river. Okay, next one, we have animals, right? Okay, so you can see these also affects aquatic animal and plants, which leads them to death. Next, landfill gases such as methane gas have been released. This causes health problem such as a cancer, respiratory problem, and then we have flies, which are vector of illness. It will breed faster. Causing cholera and cholera, diarrhea, food poisoning. OEA of food poisoning. Guys, later I read your message again. Let me finish entire thing first. If not, I cannot focus. Okay, so let me write the entire thing first. Stagnant water also an ideal breeding ground for mosquito. Mosquito carry and spread disease such as malaria and dengue. Okay, since right now we can write ways to overcome. Ways to overcome, actually you can always write the reinforce the law. We can write campaign or whatever, or you can write reduce, reuse, recycle, 3R, because it's campaign, right? So you can always promote the campaign idea, reduce, reuse, recycle kind of thing. So you can say reduce, reuse, recycle. You can, if you are able to explain 3 points, it means you get 3 ways to overcome already. But you only write reduce, reuse, recycle, right? You only get 1 point, you know. Okay. So you have to explain reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce amount of waste by not using anything that cannot be decomposed. Practice reducing, practice reusing of used products that are still in good condition. Like for example, the old clothes that you can use it for like to wash the car lah. The old clothes you can use it as the thing that you put on the floor so you can wipe your leg lah. So don't have to like always throw away that you can use, right? Okay. Next one, we have for organize, recycle campaign to raise awareness of citizens. Okay, so this is the answer. Wait, let me read whatever thing you all say first. Fish teacher. Is the question mentioned about effects on human health? Okay, correct. The question asked about human health, right? Okay, just now I write a point. The breeding ground, of course not breeding ground. This is the what? The what is that called? What did I write again? Oh, this one. Affects the aquatic animal and plants which leads them to die, right? Okay. If you want to write this point, you can write when human eats the animal or plant, we get the disease. Okay, we can write that. But let's say you only write like that. Okay, let's say I didn't explain this answer, right? Okay, I didn't explain anything from here, right? This point here is a wrong answer. So if this answer is wrong, right, will they have wrong cancer, right? No, there's no wrong cancer, right? Because this statement is also correct, just that it don't fit my answer, it don't fit the question. But I'm not trying to guess my answer which one is correct or wrong. So this one, there's no wrong cancer, right? Unless you're able to explain your answer lah. So you can say when human eats the aquatic plant or aquatic animals from the river, we get the disease. Then you can write that. You cannot write BOD because this is not related to human for BOD. Okay, can I use biodegradable? No, not biodegradable for cannot be decomposed. You can write cannot be biodegradable. Hello, don't talk about the medication here. Okay, no one understand you all, guys. You all really okay, but water, if water got E. coli, it has advantage, it has disadvantage lah. Sometimes in your body we have E. coli as well, so we can able to digest. We are able to digest by using E. coli. Just that when E. coli is outside your body, it's not a good thing anymore. E. coli causes urinary tract infection for female. So yeah, it's not a good thing when it's outside. It's only a good thing when it's inside. So this is the question 9. Okay, next one, B. Diagram 9.2 shows 3 types of disease that cause a type of pollution. We have asthma, coughing, swollen eye. Name the type of pollution and discuss the step that can be taken to prevent the pollution. So same thing, name the type of pollution and discuss the step, okay? Step. So over here, in this question, obviously, you have asthma, coughing, and swollen eye, right? This is air pollution. So air pollution, we have to explain how do you want to prevent the pollution. Where does air pollution come from? Air pollution come from a factory, come from a vehicle, right? Obviously, these 2 areas, right? So you want to reduce the combustion of fossil fuel so that there's lesser gases is being released. You can use public transport, you can use share car, carpooling to reduce emission of gases. You can install a catalytic converter so that you can convert the hazardous gases to harmless gases. You can, what else can you do? Okay, let me write first. Okay, I'll remember what I can write. A car. Okay, talking about car, right? Okay, you can use reusable energy. So you can use solar energy, you can use electrical energy so that you don't have to burn the combustion of fossil fuel so that you don't released to the atmosphere. So there's no air pollution. As long as you write the name, 1 mark. So the rest of the 9 marks, right, you can explain how do you want to overcome. Okay, so this is under Form 4 Chapter 9. It's a question that usually come out for Form 4 Chapter 9, but not this question. I'm saying like Form 4 Chapter 9, it will come out. Okay, I'm not saying like this question. But air pollution, you can focus as well because, not air pollution, thinning of ozone layer. Sorry, thinning of ozone layer. So this is air pollution. So for air pollution, we have to explain how to overcome, right? So you can see uses public transport or carpooling to reduce the emission of smoke, uses renewable energy, reduce burning of coal, petroleum, and fossil fuel. Next one, uses natural gas vehicles, or you can use solar energy vehicles. Reduce emission of smoke from exhaust of vehicles. Use unleaded petrol. Reduce incomplete combustion of fossil fuel, or you can say emission of, or reduce emission of lead to environment. And last one, you can install catalytic converter. So as you install catalytic converter, you can convert hazardous gases to harmless gases. Tesla expensive lah, of course. I mean, if you are rich enough, of course, can buy Tesla. There are also electric cars in Malaysia that is quite affordable, but the distance is very short lah, short distance lah. Not to say you can travel to Penang lah, that's not quite possible unless you drive a Tesla. Plants tree can only absorb carbon dioxide. You cannot absorb carbon monoxide and sulfur of oxide of nitrogen. So cannot, okay? Report police for open burning. There's not required here to write report police, guys. Okay, can? So this is Form 4 Chapter 9. Actually, Form 4 Chapter 9, it will be a question in exam, depending on whether you want to do that question or not, because a lot of time is like preserve and conserve. How do you want to overcome? What are your ways to overcome? There's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of thinking in Chapter 9 lah. So if you're not very good at it, I mean, of course, you can skip the chapter. If it's not that, of course, you can always choose this one because it's an open question. Open question has a lot of other answer besides the answer in the marking scheme. But unless you're very good at it lah, okay, if you're not good at common sense, then it's too bad for you. Don't choose this question. So it's your choice for you to do that. Okay, so we are done with Melaka paper 2. Any question that you want to ask me before your bio paper, you can ask me. I can slowly answer you, okay? Slowly answer your question. Teacher, why the Hurayan seems like almost the same? Because you only want to reduce air pollution, but anything that related to air pollution, you can write that. Menguat kuasa undang-undang also can. You can reinforce the law. If you want to write this, you can write if reinforce the law by making sure that you can find the thing lah, find the guy who break the law, or you can say raise awareness law also can know that one. Okay, so remember, teacher, is it dominant allele or dominant gene that shows the trait of the phenotype? A dominant gene and dominant allele is the same thing. we don't draw gene out, we only use allele. Like for example, the trait, okay, the trait is height, okay, but we cannot draw gene out, right? Okay, we can only use like what? We can only use like allele. What is allele? Allele is T, or like no, small t, big T. This one is the allele. This is the dominant. This is the recessive allele. So these are the alleles that we have to know. So it's called allele lah. Gene and allele is the same thing actually. Traits is like height. Trait is like skin color. Those are called traits. Okay, EC and Huraian each 1 mark or together only 1 mark. EC what mean like your statement 1 mark, your EC 1 mark. EC 1 mark, Huraian 1 mark. So if you have more Huraian means you have more marks. So if you're able to explain more. Statement is 1 mark. Each of your explanation is 1 mark. So please remember one reminder again. Your essay question, it must be in a sentence form, guys. Okay, it must be a sentence form. What about cryotype? Do we need to draw? No need to draw cryotype. Cryotype only they will give you in a diagram. Cryotype only have to focus on the 21st pair and the last pair of the chromosome. So because 21st pair is Down syndrome, right? The last pair is the trisomy X, Klinefelter syndrome, the Turner syndrome. So you only have to focus on 21st pair and the last pair. Don't have to know how to draw one. Just look at the number of chromosomes. Teacher, what is the difference between duplication and replication of DNA? There's no duplication of DNA there. There's only duplication of chromosome. So it's replication of DNA and duplication of chromosome in S phase. Okay, in S phase. For example, the offspring will show trait because of the dominant allele. Is that correct? You have to see which one is dominant. If tall is the dominant, then it means it will show the tall characteristic. Jen Yong, I don't want to answer your question. Okay, you ask your lecturer this one. Okay. Any other SPM question that you want to ask me? Okay, what is this cryotype? Google cryotype, yeah. You Google your cryotype, then you know what is cryotype already. Teacher, can my structure answer in point without complete sentences? I mean, I start my sentence without subject. Like this, like this is what, this is what. Try to make it into a full sentences. Okay, try to write it in a full sentence. Don't just write keyword. Okay, because not every teacher, you know, a lot of time you have to pray for a good paper and also a good teacher. Because some teacher, when they mark, right, they don't mark so straight. They only see like keywords. But some teacher, they really like mark the keyword, mark the entire sentence. So you just don't only like pray for like good paper. You also have to pray for a good marker, guys. So my suggestion is write it in the short sentences. That is the best one. Short sentences, okay? Means it's a full sentences but the short sentences. Do the AC apply wrong cancer, right? Wrong cancer, as I mentioned, just thought I give you a good example already about what is wrong cancer, right? If the question asks about human, but I got 1 point referring about aquatic animal and plants, will my answer wrong? Means like, will I get wrong cancer right? No, I don't get wrong cancer right. As long as I don't guess my answer is not wrong cancer right. Okay, is it important to learn chromosome and gene mutation, duplication and translocation? Yes. Yes, you have to know the example. Maybe if it's not coming out for paper 2, then for paper 1 you will see the question. Because as I mentioned, paper 1 you cannot skip the thing. If the question asks to compare, do we need to draw table or write in paragraph? If it's compare question, you can draw in table, but only in structure, only in AC question. If it's AC question, you only can like make sure that you can write it in table lor. If it's structure question, in sentences. Pretty hard for get a Chin Chai teacher that mark for you. Okay. If in point form doesn't affects the mark, your point form must be in sentence, guys. Okay, in sentences. This one, my answer here. Okay, for example, this the screen here that I'm showing you this here. Right? You can see this is a point form, right? But my answer is in sentences. For this question, this question that I'm writing is in sentences. So this is the full sentences already. I mean, it is point, but it is in full sentences. Sleep in 100 mark in your paper. Don't teach bad people. Teacher, this year is online learning. Does the teacher will discuss some weird answer after marking? No lah, they don't discuss one lah, okay? You mean what? Your SPM, they don't discuss one lah, okay? Never discuss. Any tips for paper 3? I simply wanted experiment. You graduated already, what? Teacher, please explain about light and dark reaction. I already explained here. You didn't attend the class just now, is it? I explained since the first question already. You rewind back to the first one, okay? Guys, okay. Any bio question you want to ask me, please ask me now. It's your last chance before your SPM paper. If you ask me what will come out for tomorrow paper, I cannot tell you what is coming out for tomorrow paper. If I know what is coming out for tomorrow paper, I'll be in jail, guys. You get what I mean, right? I'll be in jail. Okay, but you have to study Form 4 Chapter 6, Chapter 8, Chapter 9, and Form 5 Chapter 3 lah. That's the thing that I can tell you. These are the 4 chapter. Light and dark reaction already in video. It's in the same channel. Exactly. Thank you. Okay, please go and watch the light and dark reaction. Teacher, if I get A, I bring cockroach to your house. Agent, please don't. But I will go to your house to visit your mini zoo at home one day. Okay, so if you have no question, you can have your dinner. If you have any question, please ask me now. I will not end like so fast. I'll give you like 10 minutes for you to ask me a question. Do we have to memorize the definition of some terms like species, community, heterozygotes, percentage of coverage? Percentage of coverage is a formula, so you have to know the formula. Species, community, it will be Form 4 Chapter 8, right? Maybe it's like 1 mark. So if they really ask you, then means it's only 1 mark question. But usually they don't ask you. Maybe community they ask you. They ask you about community. Heterozygotes, definitely they don't ask you. How do you grow fat? It's okay, this one I can settle with you. If the question asks for 1 answer, but I can give more than 1 answer, right? Yes, you can give more than 1 answer. If that weird answer, I mean some answer that have chance to get marked but not in schema, that is open question. Open question only applies to Form 4 Chapter 9. Form 4 Chapter 9. Okay? Teacher, I was so enlightened. Okay, you're welcome. Glad that I helped you. I don't know what Jenny, what are you saying? Okay. Angel, I think I know why you wear orange color shirt. Teacher, you're very good. Okay. Doctor, yum, doctor. Don't say like that, doctor, future doctor. Okay. Welcome, guys. For those who say thank you, welcome. Welcome, Jingwen. Welcome, Sean. Good luck for exam, guys. Teacher, can I write full sentences but in point form? Of course, you are encouraged to write full sentences in point form, guys. Write full sentences in point form. Please remember this fact. Full sentences in point form. Welcome. Good luck for exam, agent. Jia Hui. Also, good luck for exam. Good luck, guys. Teacher, human bone chapter important. As I mentioned, if it's Form 5 Chapter 2, right? It's Form 5 Chapter 2. The labeling is okay. You can choose not to know the labeling, but if it's a KBAT question, then you have to know the position, you have to know the different type of disease, as I mentioned. The labeling, if you don't know, it's okay, just skip it. You have no time to study that anyways. All of the bones that, it's too late to learn that. Teacher, if I focus Form 4 Chapter 8 and 9 for AC, safe or not? Also nutrition, very safe here. Shelling is very safe. Very safe, okay? Chapter 7 also study a little bit if you want to be very, very safe, okay? 6, 8, 9, very safe for AC, really, okay? Teacher, if I left 4 chapter to read, should I give up or continue? Of course, Arthur, please continue to study. Okay, what if my answer is a wrong one? If it's extra answer, then this thing I haven't encountered yet actually, but I'm not too sure. I cannot give you an exact answer. I haven't encountered this before. Teacher, can you explain on paper 3? Dear, paper 3 I explained before in my channel also. Please go and watch the YouTube video I posted before. The answering technique for paper 3. Min Chin Chua, 相见很晚. Good luck for exam. Teacher, do you got any secret to 保持精神? When you keep talking, then you will be very energetic. Okay. Alan, welcome. Good luck for exam. Jian Ye. SPM Carlson, 冲啊. Okay, good luck for guys. Teacher, did I have to go through every experiment in the reference book, or I can just focus on a few? Okay, if you have no time to study paper 3, my suggestion is study the one that in this year's state paper first. As you study finish, you study those that haven't come out before. Okay, you study this year's state paper, then you study the rest of the paper that haven't come out before for paper 3. Iverson, thank you. Good luck for your exam also. 我是05年的，看戏冲啊，明天就到我们。Okay, next is your turn. Okay, thank you so for East Malaysia. Good luck for exam. 中红 Okay, good luck for exam. Deborah 子瑜 Teacher, for my macronutrients 可能出在什么纸 Paper 1 Nutrients for plants, right? Paper 1 From Kuching. Oh, okay. Welcome, Lydia. Teacher, in AC, it's possible? Is it probably process of what? What? Your sentence is not active transport. Come out. Active Form 4 Chapter 3. Usually, it's not an AC question. Form 4 Chapter 3. Welcome, Jiaxuan. Good luck for exam, Jiaxuan. Melaka candidates. Good luck, Wei Xiang. Good luck for exam. No sleep one night. Let's go. Okay, guys. Please remember to get some rest. Don't just study and don't get some rest. Remember, get some rest also. 老师一题 AC 最好几分钟里面做完。Okay, actually, right, for structure question, we have 5 structure, right? Usually the paper is 2.5 hours. If you can do fast, right, 1.5 hours you can finish your section A. Then the rest of the 1 hour you can do your paper 2 section B. Means you can allocate half hour for one question, half hour for one question. So if you have more time after you finish section A, means you have more time to do that. Usually for 1.5 hours lah, okay? Okay, good luck. Zhong Hong, Xing Yi, good luck for exam. Bao Wan, good luck for exam. Good luck, Helen. Okay, teacher, is there any ways to memorize the nutrients in Form 4 Chapter 4 Chemical Composition? Study protein, because protein is important. Protein, okay, go and study protein. Xing Sheng, teacher, your video is very helpful. Thank you for watching my video also. Good luck for exam, guys. Qian Shen, teacher, should I study blood clotting? Blood clotting, blood clotting you can read through lah, okay? I think blood clotting came out. I forgot already blood clotting came out. You have the checklist with you, right? You go and see my SPM checklist. I forgot already, okay? Chapter 1, you can read through heart. You can read through blood clotting mechanism. I think blood clotting mechanism, I highlighted that one, right? You can read through blood clotting mechanism. Yi Qing, good luck for exam also. Yi Qing. Is it called Yi Qing? Yi Qing Shen, okay. Good luck for exam. 建议老师会继续出新的 YouTube 吗？当然是会啊，我会来慢慢拍，等到考完试前我就会拍的。Love from Sabah, I'm going to study paper 3 like crazy now. Good luck for studying, Daniel. Kai Ken, yeah, just study everything. Darren, good luck for exam. Wait let me. Guys, tomorrow 加油 guys. Good luck for exam. Teacher will come out. Glycolysis or cycle. Glycolysis is basically the carbohydrate. Actually, carbohydrate came out last year before for carbohydrate question lah. So you can read through for chapter 1. Teacher can teach muscular system much. That one uni I give back to my lecture already. Teacher, how to memorize the vitamin and minerals. Vitamin and minerals, you have to try question. You try those malnutrition question. Form 4 chapter 6 easy question. You try to write a few, then you will remember already. Good luck for exam. Good luck, Kent. Tama, don't you go away lah. Sujara finished already. Do we need to memorize the macronutrients and micronutrients? That one is for paper 1. If you don't want to memorize, then you can just give up for paper 1. Paper 3 NOP solution, you have to know lah, NOP solution. For the plants one, NOP solution. The NPK solution, NOP solution. Teacher, if Form 4 chapter 6, 8, 9, so I just read past year question and answer. Is it enough to answer? Form 4 chapter 6, 8, 9, don't read past year answer. You read the state paper answer, guys. This year's state paper. You try this year's state paper. Can already. Good luck, Chris Michael. Good luck for exam, Chris. Good luck, Hao Yang. Good luck. 谢谢老师 my liver cell die tonight 了. Good luck, King Wai. Sleep early, please. You are not sleeping yesterday. Thank you. Thank you, teacher. Your lifesaver. Okay, good luck. I do not pronounce Loshin. I cannot pronounce your name. Sorry. Good luck. Oligay. Okay, good luck for exam. Muntas. Is the technology used in production important? Technology is food production, is it? Food production, chapter 6, you have to study 1. Chapter 6 is the easy question, guys. Yeah. Form 4, chapter 6, chapter 8, chapter 9, Form 5, chapter 3. Study these 4 chapters for easy. Or for structure also can. Good luck, guys. Any other question I can answer you? Anything that you need my answer, I can answer you right now. Good luck for exam, Ellie. Good luck, everyone. Any question? If it's no question, then I will end in maybe like 5 minutes time. I can wait for your question. If it's not, then the rest of you can continue to study. And please go through the paper 3 that I posted, the answering technique, guys. Selective breeding is under Form 4 Chapter 6. You have to read Form 4 Chapter 6, guys. Thank you. 这 my bio 全靠你了。卡宾你已经考了 A plus 了，卡宾你不用再考多一次了，卡宾。Yeah, the palm one is Form 4 Chapter 6 here. You have to study for Form 4 Chapter 6. Don't skip Form 4 Chapter 6, okay? Just study Form 4 Chapter 6, 8, 9. You cannot skip these 4 chapters. You really have to study it. Or like 3 chapters of Form 4 lah, okay? I know what you're trying to say. This Form 4 Chapter 6, the one is under production of food. Good luck, Attire. I hope I can get at least A minus. Attire, your level is not A minus, Attire. Okay, Attire, your level is high, higher than A minus. 我的 immuno 也靠你了，靠。可以的，可以的，加油 ，OK， 加油考试啊。Thank you, teacher. Wish my bio result as pretty as you. Oh, so sweet of you. Good luck for your exam, Daniel. Can bottle paper 3 experiment. As I mentioned, try this year paper 3 state paper, and then you study the rest that have not come out in SPM. That is the important one. My teacher say breeding mechanism is not important. Can I skip it? Actually, I didn't really aim Form 4 Chapter 7 this year lah. You can study for paper 1. Paper 1. Form 4 Chapter 7, study for experiment, JTube. Okay, if you are reading for Form 4 Chapter 7, you can study about JTube, YouTube. JTube and YouTube, if you're studying for experiment. For Form 4 Chapter 7 lah. Because JTube haven't come out before, JTube. JTube is a super long experiment for JTube. Go study JTube, okay? So if Form 4 Chapter 7 is not out tomorrow for paper 2, then you study for JTube tomorrow for paper 3, guys. That is the hint I can tell you though, okay? Can I? And you can study for what quadrant sampling technique. And the question that have not came out. A lot of urine question this year as well. You can study about urine question for this year. Bye-bye, Wailing. Bye-bye. Bye, Ellen. Good luck for exam. Okay? Any other question, guys, you want to ask me? Oh, is it parenchyma tissue no undergo differentiation, but the definition of permanent tissue are tissue that undergo differentiation. So parenchyma tissue is not a permanent tissue. Parenchyma tissue, it is a permanent tissue. It's considered as a ground tissue as well. Because parenchyma tissue, right, even though they are not differentiated, but it has a lot of functions, such as they are able to provide support, they have thin cell wall and large vacuole. So their characteristic has a lot of characteristics. So for parenchyma lah. If J-tube come out, then lose 17 marks. Don't lose 17 marks. You can, okay, guys. I know that it's not good to encourage you this way, but if you don't want to read procedure for J-tube, let's say if it's a section B and it's too much and you cannot afford the memorizing thing, you try to write the rest of it besides procedure, because procedure is 3 marks, right? 3 marks if you convert back is 1.5 marks, but the rest of it, if you write right, you still get 14 marks out of 70 marks if you don't want to write the procedure. So don't give up, okay? Don't give up. Don't leave it blank, guys. Don't leave any biology question blank. If you leave it blank, means you have no chance. If you write something, means you have a chance of writing, of getting marks, okay? Is there any tips to answer intraspecific or interspecific graph? Intraspecific, it means that two different species in 2 different containers, right? So they are having competition within the same species. We call it as intra. Inter means 2 species, you put it together. Like internationally, you put it together. Is they have their competition, nutrients or water or sunlight in the same tray, same area. So one is intra, one is inter. One is same species, one is different species. I don't know why recently have problem thinking answer. Can one answer? Can one, don't worry, can, okay? Kingdom only come out for paper 1, Form 4 Chapter 8. Form 4 Chapter 8, the kingdom one, right? Form 4 Chapter 8, it might have a chance of getting in section A, which is the one that we mentioned just now. Just now we mentioned about section A, right? This is Form 4 Chapter 8 also. So as I mentioned, recent year, last year, I think it's last year, there's a lot of Form 4 Chapter 8 question in section A. So try to study Form 4 Chapter 8 as well for your section A, guys. Mark your attendance. Guys, this is not masa, guys. It's not masa here. Okay? Any other question, guys, you want to ask me? No question, then I will end the stream soon. I mean, if you have any question, I give you a chance to ask me question right now. Any question that you don't know or you don't want or you don't know what to study, I give you tips to study already. Paper 3, I give you video to read through already. Please try all the state paper, guys. Really, try all the state paper. The specific name for Homo sapien, do you mean? Huh? Homo sapien have to underline. Underline both words or one word. Okay. If you want to write a scientific term, for example, you want to write Homo sapien, Homo sapien, genus and species, right? If it's genus and species, the genus must be capital H. Species is small letter, right? If you want to underline, please underline one by one. Don't underline together as one line. One by one for this scientific term. Okay. If paper 3 section B, I really don't know the concept of experiment, can I just write at least MB, RB, CB, mark, I take the question and it will be correct. You have to get the correct responding variable. Okay, if your MB, CB, and RB, if there is provided with the constant variable, right, your answer is still correct. Okay, so don't leave it blank, guys. Seriously, paper 3, don't leave it blank. Just try to find MB, RB. Already is good enough already. Try to write MB, RB, because once you have MB, RB, right, you really have the answer for hypothesis, you have the answer for a lot of parts already. Please at least try to write or find the correct MB and RB. Please don't leave it blank for paper 3, okay, guys? Paper 3, question 1, value needs to put how many decimal place? 2 decimal place, because you need to draw a graph. There's a calculation, right? Okay, two decimal place is not ready. 2 decimal. After you count, you put it into 2 decimal place. Unless you are able to draw a graph with 3 decimal place. Okay, but 2 decimal place is very good enough already. Teacher can speed through schematic diagram and Punnett square. What do you mean? Punnett square and schematic diagram, you have to have a question one. I mean, like, you have to read the question. Nitrogen cycle, is it possible for this to come up? Nitrogen cycle is a question that have not come up before yet. I can only tell you this one. I cannot say it will come up or not, but I can only tell you that it haven't come up before. What is the difference between gene mutation and chromosomal mutation? Gene mutation, they have different arrangement, okay? Like different, they have four different type of gene mutation and chromosomal mutation. So you have to read through what are the differences. Like for chromosomal mutation, they have like translocation, they have deletion, so you have to know the differences between gene mutation and chromosome. Only the names are different only. Okay, that's all. Teacher, Form 5 chapters, which chapter is important for AC that it will come out? Form 5 chapter 3 and chapter 4. Chapter 3 and chapter 4 you can read through for AC, but if the question is Form 5 chapter 5, it will be together with chapter 6, which is the Punnett square question. Punnett square question, if it's AC question, it will be 10 marks. If you are studying for Punnett square question, please also study rhesus factor. Rhesus factor. Okay, that is also 10 marks question. If you're studying for Form 5 chapter 5, right, rhesus factor, because rhesus factor also a question that have not come out before. I can only tell you what is not coming, what haven't come out before. I cannot tell you what is coming out. Okay. The method in the transmission of disease usually come out in which paper? Paper 2. Paper 1 also got, paper 2 also got. Is pollen green important? Pollen green came out last year and the year before actually. Double fertilization, right? Are you trying to say? Double fertilization came out last year and the year before already. 加油，我没有拿这个科目 ，OK， 好，谢谢你们，你考试也加油了，好不好 ？Teacher, teach nitrogen cycle, please. Oh my God, that is a very long process, guys. Okay, if you want to learn a very fast way of nitrogen cycle, I can tell you a YouTube website. You can search nitrogen cycle animation at YouTube. Okay, there's a YouTube animation. That video is very good video. You can understand very well from. I think it's what smart. Whatever kid, it's for kids to study one, but that one is a very good video. Nitrogen cycle. Teacher, what is the technique answering paper 2 if the person weak at paper 2? Paper 2, right? The thing that I can only teach you right now is to do state paper this year. Like you spam 3 sets because you still have time, right? You have like less than 24 or 12 hours, right? You just spam. You spammed 3 sets, kind of ready. Teacher, what is the difference between complete circulatory system and incomplete circulatory system? Complete circulatory system means there is no mixture of bloods, like for example, human and fish, okay? Incomplete means that it is frog. Frog, you have 3 chambers, means they have mixture of blood. Nitrogen cycle came out in 2009, guys, 2009. long ago. It's like 10, 11 years ago. Don't compare 10, 11 years ago, okay, guys? You compare within 8 years. Long ago already. 2009, I'm still like, don't know, Form 1 or Form 2. I don't know how old you guys are. Like 5 years old only, you guys. That is too long ago. You compare 8 years, within 8 years is enough already, one. 8 years. Because 2009, I don't know whether it's new syllabus or old syllabus though. Because previously their old syllabus is in BM Form 1. Teacher, photometer in experiment, which is photometer the experiment which come up in paper 3. Photometer, there are 2 factors that haven't come up yet for photometer. So you have to study photometer also. There are four factors affecting, right? So there are 2 factors haven't come up before, so you can study for photometer. But photometer experiment is very similar lah, so you can just study. Paper 3 really needs skill 1. When you have a skill, when you try 3, 4 set already, right? You already handle the skill of answering the paper 3. Okay, you watch my video for paper 3, then you try by yourself. Okay, teacher, is it chapter 4, Form 5 possible to come appear to AC question? Yes. Reproduction question, it has the chances of coming up in AC question. If it's not, then it's structural question. Okay, if 2019 come out before, this time won't come out. They don't come out in the same, they don't come out with same subtopic. Okay, if it's same subtopic, it means different question already. They don't ask the same question. It will be different question if it's the same subtopic. Okay. Photometer, POTO, chapter 1. Photometer is chapter 1, Form 5, chapter 1. Rate of transpiration. Go and study photometer, POTO meter. Okay, so I don't think you guys have any question, right? It has been like 3 hours and 21 minutes. Any other question? Okay, give you all another chance to ask question. Teacher, for the anaerobic respiration in plants for SPM syllabus, only have paddy plants also and also germination. Yes, paddy plants and also germination only. For anaerobic respiration in plants. Paddy plants and germination. So maybe they'll ask you during flood time why the plants will die. Something like that. Lor. Teacher, AC 2 Form 4, 2 Form 5. Yes. AC question 2 Form 4, 2 Form 5. If you're lucky enough, 3 Form 4, 1 Form 5. If you're lucky enough lah. Lick E, oh my god, Tuli. I miss you at Tuli. Teacher, is there any recommended video better understanding research factor? No, I don't. Did I post video for research factor? No, I don't post video. I didn't post video for research factor. You search and see YouTube got any research factor video or not. I don't think I post video in my channel though. Teacher, what is the function of neurotransmitter? Neurotransmitter consists of adrenaline, noradrenaline, acetylcholine, dopamine. Those are the one that transmit your nerve impulses. Without neurotransmitter, you have no nerve impulses. Teacher, what topics for paper 3 should I focus? Oh, this one I think I mentioned 1,000 times just now. You study this year, paper 2020, and then you study the things that haven't come out in SPM before. Okay? Can trust tips, teacher. If you study everything already, then you study tips. As I can tell you. You study everything already, you study tips. Will ruminant and rodents come out? Possible also because ruminant also haven't come out for a very long time. I think 6 years or 7 years haven't come out for ruminant. The count question. This year also got few state paper asking about count. Teacher, structure can write point form. Point form in full sentences there. You cannot just write keyword. You can write point form. The one that I write here, this one here, acceptable. The one I write today, all acceptable. Teacher, discuss research factor in SPP 2020. Oh, thanks. Yes, I discussed research factor in 2020. Good. Thank you very much for reminding me. Teacher, labeling in paper 3, how many units? You mean like section A, is it? Section A, 2 units. For the recording data, you have to base on the question one. Like the question give you how many units, you write how many units. For the first question, the recording data. If it's after you calculate, there's a calculation question, right? Sometimes the calculation question, they give you formula. Sometimes they don't give you formula. So if they give you formula, I think most of the time they give you formula, right? If they don't give you formula, you have to derive your own formula from the unit itself. Derived formula is from NMAX. Okay, I cannot, not NMAX. Physics, they want physics over already. So if you're about to derive a formula, right, and after you calculate your answer, 2 decimal place is enough already. 2 decimal place, all same decimal place, because if you need to use your number your result to draw a graph. Let's say your answer is 1.3334. How are you going to draw your graph? So you round up into 2 decimal place. Unless your answer is 0.1234 lah, then you can use 3 decimal place because it's 0 point something, right? But if it's like 1, 2, 3, then don't do that. Teacher, for what? What is that? Cork and cork cambium is actually, the cork and cork cambium is for the support in plants. Usually happens in secondary growth. Secondary growth is a important thing. If you want to study about Form 5 Chapter 4 lah, that is secondary growth. They will ask about how do you want to develop into secondary growth, and you have to explain the process in stem and root, and also what is the importance of secondary growth in economical status. Teacher, constipation can cause high fever if enzyme activity in alimentary canal is affected by. If enzyme activity in alimentary canal is affected by temperature, not really, dear. We don't link constipation and high fever together. Teacher, what is tetrad? Tetrad is bivalent, like that, okay? So, this one and this one like that. 2 by 2 we call it as tetrad. Spermatogenesis and oogenesis got chance to come out. It came out before at 2012 or 2013 lah. You can study about menstrual cycle, dear. Menstrual cycle. If it's menstrual cycle, means they might ask about oogenesis already, lor. Teacher, is it a wajib to memorize all definition in term for Form 5? No need to memorize that one lah. Genes, allele, dominant, don't need to memorize one lah, okay? As long as you understand what is the dominant allele, what is the recessive allele. Heterozygous, hetero, homo, dominant. If you're able to understand this, it's okay already. Okay, don't have to memorize. As long as you understand it. They don't ask you definition, what is the gene, what is the allele one, okay, guys? Can? Any other questions? Rhesus factor came out before? No, rhesus factor haven't come out before. I think very, very long ago haven't come out before. Teacher, double fertilization, don't need to read already since teacher said it came out in 2019. Yes, you can skip. No, let's skip lah. If you have no time, then you don't read law. If you have time, then you read law, right? I cannot ask you to skip anything, ma. If you have enough time, then you read law. If you don't have enough time, then you pray hard that it don't come out, oh. That's all I can give you. Okay, I will end at 9:30, guys. 9:30, 4 more minutes. Okay, so I end at 9:30. So any question you can ask me now, 4 more minutes. Okay, so if it's not, then I will end at 9:30 sharp. Okay, please try paper 1 as well. Because I know that you guys don't have enough of time already because it's already 9:30 right now and your exam is tomorrow morning. Try 3 sets at least. Try to, stay up late or wake up early tomorrow to study a little bit. Don't forget anything. Please, guys, it's your last paper already. Please work hard. Okay, guys. Teacher, for the genetic engineering. Genetic engineering, I teach in MRSM paper as well. Just in case you want to ask me how it works. Okay. Is it possible to come out? This year's state paper, it has 2 sets of questions with genetic engineering lah. It's Form 5 Chapter 5 for genetic engineering. So yeah. I explained the genetic engineering process in MRSM 2020 though. You can read through if you don't understand what is the genetic engineering, guys. Okay. Last paper. Maybe some people take econs also leh, like you ma, take extra subject ma, people, right? Okay, people take econs also, how? Econs is next week leh. Tomorrow is bio. For those who are having like last paper tomorrow, after exam, you can go and sleep, you can go and play already. Plus, please make sure you take care of yourself lah, because it's still COVID season right now. Good luck for exam. And please do well for paper as well. Don't leave it blank. Just do your best. Anything that is not, don't feel scared when you do the paper lah. If it's a keyboard question, please remember to remember the basic, okay? If your basic is not good, don't think about keyboard question first. If it's keyboard question, think about your basic. Okay, if it's keyboard, think about basic. Okay, is it possible? 大家不要太紧张 correct? What is the baseline of biology getting C? I forgot already. Okay, let me check. Okay, I think I have the baseline in my phone. Guys, let me check the baseline. Give me a moment. I can check for you. Where is it? Where did I save? I forgot where I saved already. Wait up. Bless you all. Okay, I'll pray for you guys before exam tomorrow, okay? Wait, I don't know where I put the baseline already. I think I saved somewhere else, but I don't know where is it already. Okay, let me see. Bio paper. C is it? C is 35 to 39. C plus is 40 to 47. If you want to get A plus, it's 85 to 100. If you want to get A, it's 74 to 75. But hopefully that your aim is A minus. A minus is 65 to 73. Plus minus 5 marks, guys. Plus minus 5 marks. You're plus minus 5 marks by yourself. Base size for A minus is 65 to 73. Okay. 2 more minutes for me to say thank you. Love you so much. 爱你深深，你很精神，你的学生很幸福，谢谢你。我也希望我的学生觉得他很幸福，也是。Okay, you learn in Bahasa Melayu. Sorry guys, sorry I cannot help you in Bahasa Melayu. This is, I mean I search is 2019 lah. They all say it's 2019. I don't know lah, 2019 lah. I don't know how real is 2019 lah. Okay, so try your best. Just put all in. So good luck for exam. Just do your best. Just do your best. Okay, guys. Just do your best. Any questions? No more question. Then I will see you guys whenever I see you guys in the mall or whenever I visit your state. Please come say hi when you see me. Good luck for exam. Definitely will miss 2020 batch 2020 the 2003 batch. Okay, the ship batch. Good luck, guys. It has been a very good journey with you guys. 2 years and 4 months. For my student, it's 2 years and 4 months. And for those who just joined my live class, glad that you learned something from my live class. Okay, hope that you can score well for exam tomorrow. Okay, can't? Bye, guys. Bye. See you guys whenever I see you. Good luck for exam. Best wishes. Peace out. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye bye, guys. Bye.